Lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your main event of the evening, episode 50 of the Paro Pod. Making his way to the podcasting chair, weighing in at 4 mistakes in podcasting history.
Oh, shit.
Mark, truth teller. Yeah.
Let's go.
And I am your host. Oh no, I'm your co-host. Oh,
There we go.
that's the first time we've ever told our full names on podcast.
Yeah, we should probably delete that,
Yeah, we should.
Docs to bits by ourselves.
I'll just put a beep in.
Yeah. We're anonymous here. We're all anonymous. This is a safe place.
You don't even know if Owen and Mark are our real names.
Yeah, who's who? Really, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow, 50 episodes.
Here we are.
Wow, a half century. We're halfway there.
Halfway there to 100.
Yeah. Almost there, you know. Yeah, man, time has flown in.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the world. Well, nearly a year ago now. 50 episodes ago. Like last August. August. This is recording in August. It's the 2nd day of August right now. 2021.
Yeah, that must mean that I would have thought that the first episode came out early August, but obviously it didn't come out late
I think
August.
it was the last day in August, I
Yeah.
believe.
Crazy.
From what I remember. Yeah, crazy times, yeah.
That was way back, yeah. But sure, were we even in... I think we were out of lockdown at that stage.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I think that was the in-between. I don't think we were... Or maybe we were having our second wave at that stage.
No, actually, no. I have a few Snapchat memories, and it's like in the pub and stuff like that. I think the pubs were open and stuff. But little did we know, things. I think I was in Galway this time last year or something like that.
I think it was in Galway as well.
Or somewhere. Yeah, things just changed.
Yeah, great. I would think maybe it was in... Yeah, what I mean? Me and Isabel went off to somewhere. Can't remember the fucking name of it now.
Yeah, I was in Galway a year ago. Doesn't feel like a year ago, but at the same time it feels like a long time ago. A long time ago.
Yeah.
We're getting old, you could say.
We are getting old.
Yeah.
But oh shit. But sure, remember last year, like everyone everyone's gone on their staycation. Now countries in Spain and it's no bother.
Man, everyone his dog has gone off to Spain. I'm so jealous,
same.
jealous. I'd love to go, but my job has a thing where you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, regardless of government guidelines. You can't come back to work for 2 weeks if you leave the country. I couldn't leave because I wouldn't get paid. Yeah, it's a lot of bollocks, but at the same time, I wouldn't be. I don't have enough holidays anyway to be able to leave.
Yeah, I only have a few holidays left.
Yeah, you need a week at least, 2 weeks. But everyone's gone off to fucking
crazy, man.
Barca, Spain, France, people in Italy and stuff.
What's the first place you're gonna go?
France.
France.
My brother's going to France. I'm gonna follow him at some point.
Just shout. Where's he going?
He's going to Nantes.
Nice.
Nearby Nantes, near Tours. It's
Nantes.
He's going Nantes. Yeah. It's hopping this time of year. A place called it's a nice little place. He's teaching English to little French kids.
Yeah, I think I might go to London or something.
Yeah.
London's nice.
I sort of want to go to Europe and stuff. Yeah, I've never been to London though.
London's really nice.
I'm very uncultured in that way.
It's so close by as well.
That's the thing, yeah.
The only effort is the fucking currency.
Yeah. But you have Revolut these days. It's all tactile,
exactly.
Cashless. That's
Actually, yeah, forget about Revolut, yeah.
Yeah, I've never even been to Britain. Any part of it.
Been to Glasgow.
Glasgow. I've heard Glasgow's nice.
Glasgow's
Edinburgh.
nice.
Yeah. They're all sounded there. England, though.
I think I've been to Wales as well. I went for a Heineken Cup match. Final. I think it was in Cardiff.
Really? Which one?
Oh man, I can't remember. Leinster against someone. I used to go to rugby matches all the time when I was younger.
Leinster against Northampton.
I don't know.
2011.
Yeah, probably about 2011.
That's like the best. Isn't that like the best European Cup final ever?
Yeah, I think
the one where they came back at half time.
Yeah,
that's like that's historic.
Where's the Millennium?
The Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's where it was. Yeah,
you were at that.
Yeah, I was
man, that is like that's like my favorite rugby game ever.
Man, I remember sitting there at that match, in the first half, I'd just be like, here, can we just go home? I know we have a flight, but can we just leave?
They're getting rallied, yeah.
They were getting destroyed, and then just coming back and winning it. It was fucking unreal, man.
Yeah, Northampton didn't score in the second half.
No, they didn't.
Johnny Sexton just scored something like 30 points.
Something ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that was unreal.
Yeah.
Because even the first, the first Heineken Cup match that they won, I think it was in Scotland somewhere.
2009 or something.
Yeah, that was an alright match. It was just pretty, a standard rugby match. But the Heineken Cup final, the one after. Unreal.
Yeah, fucking hell. Can't believe you're at that. That's historic.
They won.
That and the one against England in Croke Park in 2007. Those are 2 ones I always remember, you know, historic matches.
Or when they beat New Zealand.
Yeah.
Also,
I didn't see that live though, so.
they got absolutely fucking massacred in Ireland then.
What?
When they played New Zealand the second time.
Oh, right, yeah. They always got battered by them, like.
If you're in New Zealand, they're class.
Yeah, and Ireland are shite now, so what can you do?
Yeah, especially in football.
In everything, pretty much. We have nothing going for us at the moment.
We're still good. We're still good at
Swimming.
the Olympics.
Boxing.
We're doing well in the Olympics.
Boxing, yeah. Pretty good boxing. I can only take it so far, like, you know?
Yeah, boxing, you know. I never understand, but like I actually don't understand like how boxing works, because it's like you have like them all being champions of like different divisions for different.
It's like different weight classes and stuff, isn't it?
I don't know. Because there must be different competitions or different like promotions.
Yeah. Well, it'd be unfair to have someone who's like small against someone who's big, isn't it?
No, as in like when someone's like a welterweight champion will say they'll have like 4 belts or something like that. It's like where did you? It's not like
where'd
boxing.
you get them?
Yeah, it's like it's obvious. Now that I'm saying it, it's fucking stupid because like it's obviously different from promotions.
Yeah.
But because I think like in the UFC. Like, no one in the UFC is going to be the champion of Bellator at the same time, because I'm pretty sure when you sign to UFC, you're signed to UFC. Like, you can only fight for UFC.
It's like the NFL and stuff.
Yeah. And like rugby, like fucking wrestling that we were just...
Wrestling, yeah, exactly.
We started off
that's your thing, isn't it? Yeah, I don't get boxing at all. I never got it until... Remember we saw that Joshua Ruiz fight in Donnellan's?
I wasn't there for that.
Were you not? Nah, oh, you left early.
Yeah.
Or something like that, yeah. That was great. That was like, because I was like big fat bastard, just bet the shite out of like this, just like, you know,
this giant
like beast, just like perfectly sculpted. I thought that was great, you know. But like in general, I don't get boxing. Really.
Did you ever see that video of Ruiz's trainer getting fucking punched like with a capital P, punched in the face by Ruiz accidentally? They were doing like the bags or whatever, like the fucking. The hands,
sparring, whatever that is.
And like Ruiz, fucking, I don't know how it happened. I think he like the trainer like took a step in or whatever, and just got fucking annihilated with a punch, and like stood his ground and was still standing.
Yeah. I don't know how did they do that.
Yeah, man, it was like straight across the chin, like, and he's completely fine. Yeah, iron chin that man has.
Iron chin. Tyson Fury, he's great. Yeah, but imagine getting punched by Tyson Fury.
I always remember...
You would literally die.
Like,
I would die.
Because I remember someone was telling me the story before about like there's some like female boxer that was like in a pub somewhere. I think it was my auntie talking about it in her local pub or something. And like it was like she was a professional boxer, and like one of the fellas was just like, "Oh yeah, it hit me," and she's like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure I could take it." And she punched him in the stomach, and he fucking he had to be brought home.
Yeah, you can die from that. You can literally die from that because they have a whole technique to it and stuff. Like it's not just like about the arm, and it's like there's like a whole different thing to it. I don't know how they do it. That's how Harry Houdini died. Remember that?
No.
He was like, "Oh, here, I'm working on this technique." Like you know the episode of The Simpsons where Homer has like this, like he's like the Iron Man where he can take a cannonball to the belly. Yeah. That's what Harry Houdini was like working on for like his latest greatest trick. And he was just talking to one of his mates or something. He's like, "Oh, here, try punch me in the stomach, see what it's like." He's like, "Oh, it'd be like punching a brick wall." And your man like wound up and like wellied him in the belly, and he just died. He died. Like he died of like internal bleeding, you know. But he can die from that stuff, you know. If you don't prepare your body, it's like a science. It's
fighting is dangerous. Like
yeah, any fight is very very dangerous. Yeah, that's the problem.
Crazy. What films have you been watching this week?
I'm watching a few films, to be honest. I was watching. I watched The Exorcist.
Very nice. What's it like?
It's good. It's good. The greatest horror film of all time.
That and The Shining.
Yeah, that's the thing. I always Mark Kermode. I always go back to him. He's like the film reviewer in residency at the BBC. Has his own shows and all that stuff. It's like his favorite film ever.
What do you think of Mark Kermode first?
I like him. I like
Mark Kermode.
Yeah.
I way prefer him to Roger Ebert.
Yeah, Roger Ebert's a shypack, man. Yeah. He's talking brown like half the time. But Mark Kermode thinks this is like The Exorcist is the best film of all time. And he's watched it 200 times and stuff like that. And he has all these like different clips and documentaries that he's made just about this film. So like it's extremely well regarded. What the fuck? It's like a seagull war going on out there. They're looking for another guest spot after
Yeah.
2 weeks ago when they were on. But yeah, that's the thing. It's renowned as the greatest ever. But the thing is it?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think it is.
When's this from? It's from the 70s as well.
It's from 73.
1973.
I was watching it. I was watching with my brother. And it's not that scary. Which I don't know if that's like a thing with the times have changed where like it's so influential that you see it as cliched now. But at the same time, you have Texas Chainsaw the same year. Like literally the same year.
Yeah, but there's different kinds of horror though.
Different kinds, yeah. But like it's not like a jump scare fest. It's like very like atmospheric kind of thing. William Friedkin did it. He's like, well renowned, one of the greats, and he had a very set idea of what he's going to do. And music is a big thing in the film. And he did what the way Kubrick has all his in Kubrick films he has like classical music pieces in a lot of them. And like 2001, you have the famous opening where it's the sun sort of rising above the earth, and you have the fucking the sort of choir and like the classical music playing. Like that was what's called like a temp score. So something that the director puts over the filmed footage as like kind of a mood board, as an indication for what the composer should do. And Kubrick had someone score 2001, some guy called, I think it was Oliver North or something. And he scored the entire film, but Kubrick was like, "This is shite. I'm not going to use this." And so he just used a temp score. So it's all just classical pieces, like free, like public domain. So like there's no problem with rights and stuff like that. And that's what Friedkin did with The Exorcist, because he had this idea of what he wanted the score to be like, and he had all these amazing composers come in. I think he had 2 different full scores done for the film, but they were both like, it was like fucking gothic music. It was like church organs and stuff like that. Like really, like even then that was on the nose. Yeah, it's like, and he didn't like it. It was too brash. So the score for the film is what he originally intended, and like it's just the temp score. It's just like these really like you can barely notice it. I think it's called microtonal music or 12-tone music. Yeah, it's like really kind of, it's no real melody or rhythm to it. It's just kind of there in the background, so like a droning almost. Yeah. And there's only like certain points in the film where there's like a crash of sound to sort of accent what's happening on the screen.
That sounds really good. It
is. It's cool. It's very atmospheric in that way. So it's a real slow burn. It's not like a jump scares and all that stuff. And it is good as well, like dealing with the whole, very much like a Catholic horror, very Catholic horror. Yeah. Because it has the whole thing with like they're all the main priest is Italian. And then he comes in and he needs the help from the Irish priest. It's like all the Catholics come together. We need to get rid of this demon out of this girl. She's just a child. The power of Christ compels you. That's what this is. That's the film that comes from. They're saying that for like a full minute.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's just the 2 priests and like she's floating and they're like, the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. I thought I was going to stop, and it just keeps going for like a minute. But and it's creepy and stuff because it's like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And there's this whole thing where like it's not like you need an exorcism to get rid of this. It's more like the conflict between these 2 kind of warring worlds, between like science and like mysticism and theology and stuff like that. The whole 70s thing, like what we talked about with Texas Chainsaw and like The Omen. The Omen more so because it's from that kind of tradition. The 70s kind of thing where like it's kind of drifting back into this mystic kind of old theology where they're thinking, oh, like we tried all this science stuff, but like we can't explain these other things that are happening. Like there's a scene where Reagan is the girl and she's possessed and her ma doesn't know what the fuck is wrong with her, and she goes to like this, she has this fucking boardroom full of scientists, and it's really on the nose.
We need answers.
And they're all in like white coats and stuff like that. And she's like, so you're telling me that you can't cure my, like it's a really like exposition. You're telling me you can't cure my daughter? You don't know what this is? And they're like, yeah. Have you ever tried an exorcism? Or have you ever considered an exorcism? And she was like, what the fuck are you, like an exorcism? Like this isn't the fucking Middle Ages. And they're like, there's a mental aspect to it. Like if the subject believes they're possessed and you bring in an exorcist, the exorcist can sort of function as kind of like a placebo kind of thing. And that's their reasoning behind it. That's why she resorts to the last resort. She goes to the priest. The rational sort of the rationale behind doing something completely irrational. So you have that whole kind of conflict in there. And even like the scariest scene in the film for me is the scene where just before they've run out of ideas, like she's bringing Reagan for all these different tests and stuff, and they have her in a lab, and they're doing this thing called I don't know, it's like a cerebral spectrogram, where like they stick like a needle, like a catheter, in your carotid artery, and they put like dye in your bloodstream, and then they take like a radiogram of your head to see like what the blood flow is like, like look for like abnormalities and stuff like that. And it's an actual thing. And back then, that's how they actually did it. Like they stuck a thing in your neck, in your jugular vein or whatever, and like there's blood everywhere in the scene, and it's like I was just like, it's just the neck. It's like don't go near the neck. I'd rather die and have that happen to me.
Yeah.
I'd rather not know what's going on in my brain. Like nowadays, they do it with the femoral artery, so it's like because there was a risk at all times when they used to do it like that they'd like just fuck up the vein and then you'd be fucked. Like you just die on the table.
Christ.
But that's the scariest scene in the film for me, because it's a real, apparently it's the most realistic medical procedure in a film, like a mainstream film, and that was the scariest thing for me. But it's a completely real, like scientifically accurate medical procedure. Even though the film is like a horror film about a ghost basically possessing a little girl. Yeah, which is a weird kind of thing. So like I thought that was very interesting. The fact that there's a like the real parts, like the science behind it is almost more scary than that's really interesting. Than the demonic possession. Even the demon isn't really big in it. It's like Pazuzu, I think his name is. There's a whole like starting sequence where they're in the desert, and there's like this fucking Max von Sydow, who was in like Star Wars and stuff like that. He's like out in the desert, and there's like this totem, and it's like it's Pazuzu, and he takes like this artifact back to New York. And she ends up getting possessed via this. But like he's not, the demon isn't really in it, except for a few short flashes, like literally seconds, few frames. Like, you know that famous shot of the
face or something?
The face, yeah. I didn't even see that in the film. Like it's literally like, it's like a frame, I'm pretty sure. And then there's another really creepy shot where she's on her bed, like in the throes of the worst of the possession. And it's like sort of like, it's like lightning in the background, and it's like sort of illuminating the room, and it's just her silhouette. And then against the back wall is like the totem. Just Pazuzu kind of like looking at her, like watching, sort of like pulling the strings, like she's a puppet and stuff like that.
Scary.
It's scary. It's scary stuff.
Scary.
But
that sounds spooky as shit.
It's pretty spooky. But she ends up killing all these people. She kills a few people, but like there's no consequences for the little girl. You know, she kills loads of these priests, and like nothing happens at the end. It is scary, like, and it's nice and short, 2 hours long. You can't really go wrong with that. Yeah,
I always is it slow? Like how long does it take to get into the Exorcist stuff? Like
not that long really, cause like she starts pissing herself, she starts acting weird at there's like a gaff party they have, or like a little house party, like a dinner party, and she pisses herself, and they notice that something's off, and she starts just like, oh, you will die, and she starts talking in weird voices, and she vomits, does the Exorcist vomit thing, just starts turning
Where
her
did
head.
she run up the stairs? Or down the stairs? Is it up or down the stairs?
I think it's down the stairs. Yeah. She's like on the ceiling and stuff like that. That's almost like a passing point though. Like they don't even really focus on that. It's like, what the fuck is she doing up there? Is like, you know, because like it's such an iconic image.
Yeah, it is.
Like
scary.
we all know that's scary, but it's almost like passed over in the film, which makes it cooler as well, because it's not like a centerpiece. But it's a weird one because I don't know if it's that scary. Like,
yeah, but in terms, did you enjoy it though?
I really liked it. Yeah.
So it might not be. I always think it's probably just the type of horror that it is. Because I say, like, you go back to like any of the films that are like, you know, like that are. I'm trying to think like Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Like you go back to Blair Witch, that's not really scary anymore.
True.
I don't find it anyway. But I just think it's the type of horror that it is.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It makes me wonder, like, what would make, because there's such a huge reaction to it at the time.
Yeah.
Like people were terrified of it. Like
you don't get that anymore.
There's a huge controversy over the fact that they gave it an R rating, so like loads of kids were able to see it because you can go in America, you can go in if you have like company over 17, like you can see an R-rated film if you have someone older with you.
It's like they're 15s.
Yeah. So it's like 12A or whatever. So like loads of kids saw it and they're all like fucked up about it. In the UK as well, it was like hugely railed against. It was released a week after Penda's Fen in 1974, but there's a huge backlash against it by the nationwide Church of Light or something like that. It was like a movement of like sort of they wanted more pure morality on British screens and stuff like that. It's led by a woman called Mary Whitehouse, and she's the basis of the character in Penda's Fen, the mother and father of England.
That's gas.
Which is like the whole thing with like the Christian morality of Britain is falling away. Like we need to purify ourselves. We need to go back to some like mystical past which never existed.
Penda's Fen is it's just such a perfect movie.
Yeah, and literally like this came out the week before that aired, and that was the Penda's Fen was talking about this as it happened, literally as it happened. They hated this film like that, like Mary Whitehouse not. They hated The Exorcist because they saw it as kind of like condoning, or like sort of at least entertaining the idea of demonic possession, or like not, I don't know, just like having it out there for people to see, and even the whole Catholic element of it as well. Like it's like all the priests save the day basically, but you don't see that these days. Like what would it take right now? Do you think to have like a huge backlash? Like what sacred cow would make people go, "This is just, we can't stand for this," you know?
I don't think there is one.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, what does that mean though? What does that mean?
Yeah, I guess there's no. Yeah, I don't know.
Or like, yeah, why was that such a thing back then, but it's not now? Because it is a weird thing. Because I think that's a lot of what.
But I guess it's more conservative times.
Yeah.
Because we're in a very liberal moment, you know. I think that's probably why people just don't really, you don't get offended over stuff like that.
Don't really care. But like, I think that's a lot of what contributes to why this is like such a iconic film.
Yeah, from the time it came out and as well.
Yeah, because it's so provocative.
Yeah.
But like that also adds to the horror. So like, is there a limit to how horrible something could be, or like how horrific?
Yeah, it's
right now.
Yeah, it's just as time passes, that changes.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting to think about, because you don't get. Same thing about the devils. Like you don't hear about that about any film now. Being, like had to literally be like cut down and stuff like that. Because you can just release it online if you want.
Yeah,
like,
true. Yeah.
You know, like is there any what films have been like heavily cut to like not to pass censor, but because they weren't allowed to have this in the film?
I don't even know.
Yeah, you don't hear about that.
You don't really hear about that, no.
Like the Devils has bits that like you can't watch now. Like you can't access them. There's no cuts of the film that are the original cut.
Yeah.
Because the film was burned.
Yeah, which is gas.
So now it's all digitally. You can have it somewhere.
A lot of school shooter stuff, you always hear about that. It's like sort of condoning it. Remember U-Ball had that film Assault on Wall Street? I was just some guy shooting up Wall Street.
Yeah.
And people weren't happy about it. But they weren't happy about it because it...
We're happy with Joker here, to be fair.
yeah, that kind of thing. But the outrage is more like, this is immoral. Or like it wasn't anything to do with the film, really. Like like Assault on Wall Street, we can sort of take for granted it's not a good film. It's like U-Ball. But the people were like, this is condoning violence against, innocent people on Wall Street and stuff like that. Or like all that kind of thing, because maybe it's like something that's more sensitive now because you have mass shootings and stuff.
Yeah,
but that's not really a sacred cow, is it? It's just kind of like it's just bad taste.
it's just bad. Yeah, it's just being a cunt. Yeah, it's just no. I definitely need to see The Exorcist. I've had it on my list for eons.
Yeah, there's no captions. I watched it on YouTube. A lot of bollocks.
Yeah.
A lot of bollocks. You don't really need them, but I was like, I was eating at the same time.
Yeah, like you're paying for a fucking service and they don't give you subtitles.
You're paying £4 for a film and you don't get subtitles.
Like, because I watched this film Cooties on the weekend. Got nothing to talk about it at all, so just not gonna talk about it. But it was on YouTube for free, and when it was on YouTube for free, you could hit auto-generate subtitles and it would provide you subtitles. Now the sound was fucked. And the quality wasn't that good. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll just fucking buy it. I bought it, could hear it fine, and it looked fine, but there was no subtitles.
Yeah.
It's like the free version is better.
Yeah, they're fucked. It's not right, like.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's annoying. You should always provide subtitles.
Yeah, it's not right. But like The Exorcist, you don't really need it,
No.
But there is a huge element of sound. Like, I was eating at the same time, but... I only got this after the fact, but there's like a huge element of sound design. Apparently it's really avant-garde, really like ahead of his time. They had a guy from he worked with Phil Spector and stuff, did with the Wall of Sound, and he worked with Rolling Stones and like the Wrecking Crew in LA back in the 60s. He was like a producer and a composer. Jack Nietzsche, I think his name is.
Nietzsche.
Yeah. And he was the composer for the film. Like Friedkin had his temp score, but your man Nietzsche did sort of like perfected it all, and there's like real like good foley sound as well, which is something that I just can't appreciate. But apparently it's like Like when the opening scene, they have this. It's like a quarry in the Middle East, and they have all these lads with hammers going on the stone, and like when it's close up, like you need like surround sound or something to really appreciate it. It won best sound at the Oscars. Apparently, it's like way ahead of its time in terms of sound design. So.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's not really. You don't need captions, you know.
Yeah, you don't need captions. Fucking
just hammering, you know.
There was surround sound is always fucking cool. That happened in Old and something like that. Spoilers for Old, I guess.
Oh shit.
So full spoil, like not full spoilers, but like minor enough spoilers or like major enough spoilers for Old. So skip ahead if you don't want to hear them. Old is shit.
Yeah.
Old is really
Spoiler
bad.
alert.
Old is so bad. But it's really, it's fun bad, but it's still really bad. And like the more I think about Old, the less I like it. Old is the new M. Night Shyamalan film for people that don't know. And Shyamalan continues the streak of not making good movies.
He's on a wild one now. You know? He's on a crazy streak at the moment.
He's been on that binge for 20 years, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Old. What's the premise?
Okay, so the premise is there's a beach and time moves differently on the beach and it ages people quickly. And this family go to the beach and they start aging and they're trying to get out off the beach. And yeah, so the setup. So oh god, this film. One of the major problems of the film is that every line is like exposition or like explaining something to the audience, and it's like so literal. It's there's no subtlety whatsoever, and it's a horror film. I feel like you need to have some form of subtlety in a horror film. So we start off opening of the film, and we're with the family, and they're driving the car, and one girl is singing, and there's a little boy in the back, and the mom's there, and the mom turns to the daughter, and it's like, "Oh, I'd love to hear you singing when you're older. I can't wait to hear that." And I said, and then another one kid goes, the kid, like the little boy, like goes like, "Yeah, I hear you sing badly." And then she's like, "Oh, mom, I don't want to sing anymore. Stop talking or whatever." And then she's like, the mom goes like, "Oh, you're gonna regret these moments when you're older. You'll forget about these moments."
Yeah.
And I was like,
just smacked on the back of the head.
Oh, it's like a fucking spade to the back of the head.
Yeah.
And that level of dialogue just continues throughout the entire film. And it's just always like that. Everything is so literal.
Yeah, it was M. Night doing the script and all?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, because he's always a great writer and stuff in
Not for dialogue, I don't think.
No, I mean like in his films. He
did that in
Lady in the
Water.
Lady in the Water, yeah.
Where he cast himself as the guy who's such a great writer that he's gonna save the world.
Yeah.
In this, you think he's a cameo, but then he comes back more into it later on.
Uh-huh.
But like it's so poorly acted. It looks like shit. It looks like shit. It does. There's extreme camera angles and like movement, and I guess for some people it might be like very evocative of like the tension of the scene or whatever, but for me I just felt like motion sickness when I was watching it. I was like, oh, this looks so ugly, and I don't know if it was like the cinema that I was in, but anytime it moved or whatever and it stopped, it kind of looked like it was out of focus. So
yeah.
I don't know if that was the cinema screen that I was in, but or that's what the film looks like.
Yeah, I'm sure it's half his film out of focus.
Yeah, because I think it's like he uses like CGI or like some weird form of like editing. I think it is CGI to make this really weird like camera movement in one sequence, and it looks so bad.
Yeah.
It looks like shit. Oh, it looks awful.
Most of his films do look bad though, don't they?
I think the only good one is The Village, and that's because Roger Deakins did the cinematography for it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Jeez, how do you rope him into doing that?
I have no idea.
Jeez, Roger Deakins.
I'll talk about The Village in a bit, but I'll talk about a bad Shyamalan film, then talk about a good one. But yeah, it just looks bad. I just think the film looks awful, and I was thinking about this afterwards. So obviously, like, there's kids there, and they start to age, and then the parents come across them and like, "What the fuck? Who are you?" And I was like, "It's me, Mom." But the way that they like, he's trying to like hide it at one sequence, for like that the kids have aged and they're like different actors now. But the way that he basically introduces it is the kids are like shouting to their parents, whatever, and it's shot from behind to like not show their faces, whatever. But the camera angle just basically has like the girl's ass, and like I was watching, I was like, well, she's obviously older now because there's no way that M. Night is gonna be doing that to a little girl. I was like, okay, so obviously she's aged now, and I hope to God that the age is meant to be 18. Shyamalan. So that's how he like reveals that these kids have aged.
She has an ass.
She's an ass shot.
Yeah, that's a bit grim, isn't it?
Grim.
It's a bit dodge, especially Hollywood. That is
Get
dodge.
out of here, M. Night.
That is dodge, man. Man, how's he survived all the culling, How's he survived that?
Look at the times, bro.
Yeah, man, come on. Read the room.
Read the room. Read the room is correct because later on, so there's like, so I think the ages of the kids like 9, 6, and I think there's like a 3 or 4-year-old. Maybe she's 5. I'm not how old the youngest girl is meant to be, but they all age, and it's in the trailer, so this isn't really a spoiler. But one of them, the youngest girl anyway, ends up getting pregnant in the film's terms at the age of 16. Now, it's not entirely like the film isn't very clear on one thing for some reason. The one thing that the film isn't very clear on is how their minds work as they age. It briefly mentions about like a one sequence just before these two kids, about these basic kids, like they're basically the kid characters. So before, like it's obvious that it's gonna happen because the whole like setting and the way it's shot and like the way that they're lying down beside each other, and you're just like, I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. And then they're describing how like their minds are like maturing, but they still act like afterwards like 3 and 6, because like at one stage she gets so this is after they've had sex, and it's not revealed that they've had sex because she walks over then and she's got like a pregnant belly because time's moving really quickly. And she goes down on her honkers and like takes out like spaghetti or like pasta that they have, and she's eating it with her hands because she's still
a baby.
She's still like a baby, but
she's pregnant.
But the bit beforehand is talking about how like their minds are maturing. So that doesn't. I don't understand like how the mental aspect of it work. And then she ends up giving birth on the fucking beach, and the kid dies of neglect because it was put down for like a second.
But the calculations, we did the calculations there.
And it's only like it would only be down for like a few hours in terms of like how quickly time is moving.
Yeah. Like that baby was finished anyway,
Yeah,
4 hours.
Bad movie.
Yeah, that is like that's fucked up though. That's such a fucked up thing to put in the film. Like at least have them age
mentally
like
as well.
It would be consistent. Like they don't perceive the passage of time, is it? It's just their bodies perceive that.
Their cells are aging.
Their cells are aging, but don't your brain cells also age? Or is that like, or maybe you need experience to age mentally? I don't know. But like then, I don't know. Maybe it's more accurate.
I don't think so, man.
I don't know.
It's still weird. Have it in the movie.
Yeah, just no need to have that. It is horrifying though,
like the idea itself is
it's like
horrifying.
Baby. It's like the baby.
It's like the baby.
Yeah.
It's like the baby.
Like a kind of,
It's like there's something wrong here.
Yeah, there's something seriously wrong with this. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, no, the baby. Oh, I keep thinking about that film every so often. God, fucking hell, what a weird
just flashes movie. When you close your eyes.
It's like, you hear the screams. So as the time is moved, so the way the time works on the beach is every half an hour is a year of their lives. So that immediately brings up a couple of problems, because in the film we see it's at the start of the film we see a shot of like a woman and a man, and the woman gets into the water and then it cuts, and then when the family arrive at the beach, the dude is there but the girl's missing. Now they end up finding the girl's body, right? It was nighttime when it showed us those characters on the beach. He has not aged at all. In terms of the film, he should have aged like 16 years or like at least, at the very fucking least, like 10 years.
Yeah. 5 hours. Decent night kip, like.
Easily. He's minimum. He's been there for 5 hours. The girl has also been like, they find the girl's body, and it's like completely normal. Like it's as she was when she died, like when she left when we first see them, right? Then the body starts to decay. After they find the body, the body starts to decay. Now, so time has only started working properly on the beach when our main characters arrive. Like, there's plot holes fucking everywhere in this film, and the more you think about it, the less sense it makes. And it's one of those films where literally you think like you're watching it, and you're like, this is fucking bad. Like, in terms of like the acting, the dialogue, like what's going on, it's bad. It's really bad. But then afterwards, when you leave the cinema and you think about the film, the story is even worse.
It gets worse
than what you experienced.
Yeah, that's gas.
Like, and they talk about how, like, one says like someone says like, oh, why aren't our nails and hair growing? And one guy goes like, oh, it must be because they're dead cells, that they're not affected, but the living cells are what's aging. So then why do corpses fucking disintegrate? Like, they decay extremely quickly to the point where, like, when the baby is dead, and like it's there's like a bit where like the mom of the baby, the little girl, has a blanket or whatever, and she's walking around, and you can hear like bones in the blanket, and then later on she opens up the blanket and it's dust. So it's like time is moving that quickly.
Yeah,
but like they're not like. Is there no dead cells there? Like, does a dead body still have living cells?
Yeah, it's not eaten by bacteria now. Yeah. But like, it doesn't turn to dust.
Yeah.
You know, that's millennium, isn't it?
Yeah, that's thousands
of years. Yeah. That takes a long time. M. Night, at it again. Absolute sham. I'm like Shyamalan.
Yeah, he is a sham. He does fund his own films, which is cool. But I just wish he funded his own movies and that they were good.
Yeah, we should fund his own trip, but to a different side of the world.
He should just produce it.
Yeah,
and just let someone else fucking do it.
Yeah, you should get a protege in or something.
Because some people were talking about, like, imagine if Ari Aster did this film. And I was like, that would have been fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But you said it for every film. You said it for every film, really, couldn't you?
Just get Ari Aster to do every film.
Yeah. Any horror film. Like, the baby.
The Godfather would be good if Ari Aster did it.
Yeah. Get the baby, man. Do a remake of The Baby.
No, leave that thing behind.
That's the thing. It's the cursed. It's the black sheep of the horror genre. I feel like that could be something that could be done.
About remaking The Baby.
Yeah, A24 be like, oh, people will love this, you know.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Know? Like, you know that film The Lamb that they have coming out now?
I haven't seen the trailer, but I heard about it.
It's like a child that's a lamb as well. Weird, you know. But imagine a child that's also a man. You know,
that's scary.
But I have Ari Aster do it. I think that could be a thing. But yeah,
I think if they were to do that though, it would end up being extremely offensive.
To who?
To like any like mental disorders or whatever.
Oh yeah, true.
I don't know what the term is, but
yeah.
And speaking about, you know, oh my god, like fucking Shyamalan, like it's
Shyamalan,
just,
you dog. Sham.
This is now okay. This is more of a more bigger spoiler than anything else I've been talking about. So it turns out. Oh god! Everyone on the beach, it's discovered like pretty quickly, has a medical condition, and that's why they're there. One of them has schizophrenia, and his schizophrenia increases rapidly, and he ends up killing like 2 people, I think. And he like plays like because he went there with his mom and his wife and his wife's little girl or something. But the mom is an old woman, and she ends up dying on the beach. And then a shot later on is him like with the bones, like talking to his mom, and then he ends up murdering like 2 people. And he's a racist. Like they make it very clear he's also racist.
This guy's just a bad guy.
He's just a cunt.
Yeah.
So the guy with schizophrenia and old ends up, you know, murdering 2 people. Split's whole fucking thing is that the guy has multiple personality disorder. The Village, we're all getting to now. Adrian Brody in that film kills 2 people, or like he kills one person and he tries to kill 2 people. He doesn't actually kill either of them, but he tries to kill 2 people, and he has like, it's never made clear, like, you know, what he has, but he has something. So that's 3 films now, M. Night, and I'm pretty sure. Sorry, The Visit also has that. I haven't seen The Visit, but The Visit also has something like that, where the grandparents are like have something as well.
Yeah.
So like that's 4 of his films where And I guess like glass could also be introduced into that because of fucking Split. So like half of his films are about like how people that have like some mental health issue or like mental disability or whatever are murderous and like can't be trusted.
You can't trust them.
Yeah.
You know, them madcaps.
He just keeps doing it every single fucking time.
Man, it's a cop out. It's literally just. What do you even say? It's malicious. The guy's just a bad writer.
He's just lazy.
Yeah. It's just like it's pure cop out. Oh, let's make him crazy, you know. Oh, he has mental health issues. He's unpredictable, you know.
Yeah. Why give a character a backstory when you give them a mental disability?
Yeah. It's like a complex, developed character. No, man, he just has mental health issues. You know? He's just crazy.
He's
you
just
know?
depressed.
He just has anxiety, man. He's crazy. You can't predict what he's gonna do next.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's boring as well. So like when you're watching, it's like, oh, well, now I know where this film's gonna go.
How long is it?
An hour and 40, I think.
That's not bad.
It's a this film is really funny. The fucking ending is bullshit. The ending is so bad. Not like how the way that they get off the beach is something that is not like mentioned in the film beforehand. They're just like, oh, if we do this, we can get out. And it's something that you as an audience member have not been like properly shown. It might mention it. Maybe it mentions it at the start of the film. I don't remember. But like at that stage, it pans. I was like, so as an audience member, there's no way for you. Like you're not given the you're meant to feel fucking stupid basically, or the film's just lazy because like it's like here's the answer, and we're not going to reveal that there's an option until it's needed.
Yeah, until. You know, it comes up until it solves everything. Yeah. Is there no twist? No.
There is a twist.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. It's fucking awful twist, like. And then that brings up. I don't want to talk about the twist because the twist is fucking bad.
That's what people pay for.
Yeah. But like the film ends like 3 times as well. The film ends at one stage, and then it cuts back to something that we've already seen the outcome of. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like them get out. Okay, they get off the beach. Okay, spoiler alert, they get off the beach. It cuts to them. Like maybe they died getting off the beach, and then we realize, oh no, they did get off the beach, and then it cuts back after that. After the whole thing wraps up, it cuts back to them escaping the beach, and then it cuts back again forward to them getting off the island.
What?
It's like just end it there.
Yeah, just stop.
I don't need to know all this stuff.
Yeah. So like, it's not even like time. Like it's just the same narrative, but telling different parts out of order for no reason.
For no reason.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. So like you know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
So once you think that they're gonna drown when they're leaving the beach, and then it cuts, and they're like you see them off the beach, and they have a moment with like the bad guys and stuff like that. Like there's a resolution.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to them underwater, like and how they escaped.
Yeah.
And then it cuts forward to where like people are coming and getting them off the island.
Maybe he was thinking it's like in the test screen, and people were just like getting up and walking out. He's like. Let's just show them the ending now, you know, so they don't walk away, and then we'll continue with the film, and then jump back in, and then keep the attention.
Bad movie.
Keep the attention.
Bad movie, but he made a good movie before, and that good movie is The Village.
The Village, Le Village.
Did this film came out after Unbreakable?
2004, 2003.
I think it's later than that. I don't have my phone on me. I can't remember when The Village came out.
I'll have a look now.
I think it might be 2000. Maybe I think it is 2004. When did Signs come out?
Jeez, 2001.
The Village is 2001.
No, Signs came out in 2001.
Fucking hell, what?
Yeah, 2004.
Jesus. When did Unbreakable come out?
2000.
Oh, okay. It just came out after Signs. Oh, right. So this is then the turning point, because people didn't like Signs when it first came out.
Yeah, people didn't like... Man, Signs is pretty shit, though.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it.
It's not bad, though. It's not that bad. I guess a lot of hate, but it's all right. Like, has aliens and stuff.
The aliens look cool in Signs.
Yeah, I always hear people going like, "Oh, it's most like those fucking Watch Mojo things, the scariest scenes of all time." Yeah, and it's always like the Signs.
Yeah, the fucking like film clip or whatever.
Yeah, that's there's nothing scary about that.
I don't find that scary.
I don't understand why people find that scary. Yeah, it's just like a scene in the film. Yeah, there's nothing. There's not even really like any emphasis on it. They're just watching it, and then this happens, and then it's like, oh. That's surprising, but it's not like, oh, man,
those seagulls.
He's coming right at us.
Man, I thought that seagull, I genuinely expected to turn around and see that seagull sit on the fucking windowsill.
Yeah.
That was so loud.
Yeah, I don't get that, but.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I don't understand that aspect of it. of the signs. Like that clip, it's so scary.
Yeah.
It's not really.
It's not really. It's like saying Independence Day is scary. That scene where Will Smith punches the one that's fallen to Earth. It's like, whoa. It's so scary, man.
Aliens.
It's just an alien. Like,
yeah, it's chill out. It's just an
it's
alien.
part of the film. No, but The Village. What's The Village like? What's the premise of The Village?
Okay, spoilers again for The Village, because I don't even care. This one's like 20 years
It's
old.
like 20 years old.
Yeah. It's like set in like an old timey village, and there's monsters in the forest and stuff like that, and you're just kind of following these characters around or whatever. Joaquin Phoenix is in it, and he wants to leave the village to go off and get like medical supplies or whatever it was, and the count are like, no, you can't. Like the bad guys are out there, and the bad guys come in and they like leave marks on everyone's doors, and like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on? And then Adrian Brody's also in it, and Bryce Howard, is that her name?
Yeah.
I think she's in this. I think that's the one. There's
Howard,
there's so many redhead like actresses.
They all look the same.
They all look the same. I'm pretty sure it's Bryce Howard.
I'll have a look now. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Grant.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
All three of them are great, and Brendan Gleeson's also in this film. Briefly.
Is he?
Yeah.
As what?
He's one of the council members.
Ah.
So it's kind of like
William Hurt is in this.
Yeah, William Hurt, isn't it? I don't know
that's
who that
a
is.
different guy.
I don't know who William Hurt is.
He's in Altered States.
The main guy in Altered States.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he's in this film.
Yeah.
Who is he in it?
I don't know. He's in it.
Maybe he's the council. He's like the head council fella.
He's Edward Walker.
I'm assuming that's the head council fella.
Yeah. He's fourth from the top in the cast.
Yeah, that's definitely him.
Sigourney Weaver's in this.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver's also in this, yeah.
Judy Greer's in this. Michael Pitt is in this.
It's got a
Jesse Eisenberg's in this.
Yeah. Jesse Eisenberg is in one scene.
What? That's so weird.
And he's on a podium basically, like trying to lure in the fucking monsters, and then he runs away and you never see him again.
Yeah. What an entrance. Jeez. He was only 19.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
And it's got some cast, and like it's well acted. It's beautifully shot because it's Roger Deakins, of course. And the story's fine. The story's actually pretty good. Like, it's alright. I just described the story in 5 different ways there.
Yeah.
It's just whatever.
Story's great. It's fine. It's pretty good.
It's alright.
Just gets, it's like old, but it's just watching The Village. It gets worse with every 30 seconds.
I have nothing to really say on the story. But Adrian Brody's in it, and he's like, I don't know. I think he's like meant to be autistic or something. Maybe offensive. It could. I don't know. Could. I don't know. Yeah, It's weird. It's not like Forrest Gump, but it is like. It is like that Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder thing. Yeah.
So he ends up stabbing Joaquin Phoenix because Joaquin Phoenix is in a relationship with Bryce Dallas Howard, and she goes off to get medical supplies. But then there's a twist. The twist is that the monsters aren't actually monsters. They're just like the council members. And her dad is like the head one, and he tells her this. And he's like, don't tell anyone though, because like everyone needs to stay here.
Don't tell anyone.
And she doesn't. She's also a blind character as well. I didn't realize that for the first like 25 minutes of the film that she was blind. Yeah,
because that's what I remember from the Scary Movie 3. I think was the one who did a parody of this, and it's your one Anna Faris, and she's walking around blind and stuff.
Yeah,
and have like the disabled character and stuff like that, and all the lads. That's all I know from the film. And like we used to have the DVD, and it's just a guy holding a ball. But he has like claws and stuff. It's like I was like, what?
Yeah, they got mad claws.
Yeah, it's like I used to think it was like, oh, that's such a scary film. Or it must be such a scary film. But yeah, is it scary? No.
I'm sure if you watched it at the time, it probably was scary. But it's
I was reading there. It's about the Iraq War.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all.
Is it?
I didn't get that at all when I was watching it. I saw that as well, and I was watching. I was like, I do not understand it. They mention Iraq briefly. I did not get that from the film at all.
Yeah, it's set in the present day. That's the thing.
That's the thing. That's the second twist.
Yeah,
it's actually set in the present day, and they're just like hiding out in like a national park, basically.
Ah, very interesting though. It's like a double fake, like.
Yeah. Because but like when it's revealed, and she's blind, she's not aware of it either. So She can't even tell people. She can tell people about the fucking aliens not being aliens, basically.
Yeah.
But she can't tell people about that they live in the present day.
Yeah. Because she wouldn't know, yeah.
Yeah, she didn't see anything.
Yeah.
She just heard it and she didn't know what the noises were.
Yeah.
Which is cool. That's a cool bit of twist.
Yeah.
But yeah, it turns out that the reason that they're there is because all the elders and stuff like that had their kids die. Or suffered grief of some sort, and they just isolated themselves from society and moved out into this village, so they just have a community there. And it's they're not aware of whatever's going on in the outside world. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So they don't have to suffer.
Yeah, withdrawal, yeah.
Which I guess has to do with Iraq.
Yeah, Unabomber kind of vibes.
The world is so bad outside. Let's fucking escape and go here.
Yeah.
And our kids are being killed and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's float woods. Kind of relatable.
But so then when it's revealed about the monsters not being monsters, that they're actually humans, Bryce Dallas Howard's character comes across someone in the woods going around like that, and she runs and hides. But as an audience member, you're why are you afraid of something that you know is a human? Why are you not calling out to who are you?
Yeah.
Why are you so
she just runs.
scared?
How does she know it's him? Or
because she can hear him.
She can hear it. Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
they make sounds.
They make monster noises, and cause I was just why is they making monster noises if they're just humans? And M. Night actually cut out a bit where there's a line apparently in a deleted scene where they say the suits have voice modulators built into them.
Oh, right. But why are they going around doing that? Acting the maggot
to keep everyone in is why they wanted. Why all the council members are doing it. But now at this stage, you're why is she running away from this person? But then it turns out to be Agent Brody's character, who is here now trying to kill her.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah, he's just loopy or whatever.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He can't be predicted.
Yeah, he's just he's just a character that has a disability, and therefore he has to be the murderer. And then she never finds out who it is either. She kills him by getting him to fall into a hole, but because she's blind, she doesn't know who it is.
Oh. Yeah. That kind of sounds cool.
It is.
It's a false flag kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about 9/11 or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
Something about her being blind or whatever. I don't know.
No, that sounds kind of cool, yeah. It's a little, social kind of commentary. You know? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've always heard that was one of his better ones.
It is pretty good. It is good.
Because you hear a lot of noise about M. Night, about a lot of his films.
Being shit.
Yeah, either people
Last Airbender is fucking one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
How he recovered his career after, that string of films that he did in the late 2000s. The Happening, The Last Airbender. Two of the, literally...
Have you seen The Happening?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, man.
You've seen The Happening, yeah.
The Happening is a blast. It's so bad.
I've seen, the compilations on YouTube and stuff. But, those are recognized, almost unanimously as two of the worst films ever made. And for some reason, this guy still... people still... Well, I suppose he can fund his own films. But for some reason, his career... People still go see his films.
Yeah, I know.
This guy's
he's an enigma because he made The Sixth Sense and he made Unbreakable.
He's made a few good films. He's not that bad a director, He's not terrible.
But even The Village isn't even a masterpiece. It's it's pretty good.
It's good, yeah. Would you recommend it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Not really.
A lukewarm.
Yeah, so
if you're,
would it be worth 2 hours? Would it be worth spending 2 hours at this?
It's an hour and 40 minutes or 50 minutes. It's not even 2 hours.
You can stick it on 1.25.
I was watching it in the background, kind of.
Yeah, fair.
It's fine. I wouldn't if someone's asking me for a good film, I would never ever recommend it that way.
Yeah.
But if you're wondering about M. Night and you're what's a good M. Night film, and you've already seen Sixth Sense and you've already seen Unbreakable, yeah, The Village.
That's the only one left.
It's the third recommendation that people would give.
Yeah, or Signs maybe.
I don't know. I haven't seen Signs.
Signs is cool. Kind of about Christianity though.
Yeah,
but it's really on the nose.
Yeah.
It's also parodied in the Scary Movie one, where Charlie Sheen is the Mel Gibson character.
Yeah.
And he's conflicted about his faith, and he's just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it's on the farm.
Yeah.
That's a really good Signs parody. That's a really good film.
Yeah, Scary Movie is probably the best one.
Yeah, it's so good. But
because Scary Movie 1 is the piss take of Scream, which is already basically a piss take of slashers.
Yeah, that's already a parody. Yeah, and Scary Movie 2 is just weird.
Scary Movie 2 is weird. I don't like Scary Movie 2 at all.
It's too many cum jokes and stuff.
Yeah, it's real. It's a gross movie.
Yeah. Scary Movie 3 is for connoisseurs, fine, high-minded intellectuals.
Watch Shyamalan movies.
Yeah. Aliens who piss out of their fingers.
Yeah, it's subtle.
It's for patricians.
What do you think of Scary Movie 4 and 5?
I like Scary Movie 4.
Scary Movie 5 is dog shit.
That's the recent one, isn't it? I have not seen that. I liked Scary Movie 4, but I knew that it wasn't. Even then, I knew it wasn't as good as Scary Movie 3. You know, it was still good to see all the lads back. You know, I haven't seen Scary Movie 5 or like, it's not even called Scary Movie 5, is it? It's just called ScaryMovie. It's like a reboot or something.
No, it's called Scary Movie 5.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck
the
that.
V is in the 5 is the V.
Oh right.
In movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fucking awful. It's such a bad movie. I rewatched Epic Movie as well.
Did you? Why?
Yeah, because I always watch a bad film on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Just to watch like the worst movies of all time. And I'd seen Epic Movie when I was like, I could have been 10 or 11 or 9. It came out in 2008, so I think it was like 9 or 10. It's on Sky Premiere, I think.
Yeah, I remember they used to really try to flog them.
Yeah.
They're like, premiering this Saturday. It's like fucking Meet the Spartans or something like that.
Spartans.
It's like, I'm paying 30 quid a month for this.
Yeah, for this bullshit.
You know?
Oh man,
poor parents, like.
But because I had fond memories of Epic Movie when I was younger, because I did kind of find it funny when I was younger. I also found it really gross and kind of knew that it was bad, but it also had boobs in it, and that was a big thing for me when I was like 9.
Yeah.
It was a movie that I could see boobs in. Yeah, watching it now, boobs aren't enough.
Yeah.
This movie's, oh god, the Epic Movie's so fucking bad. But because it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
And I knocked it on, and I noticed at one point, because like they do like a Snakes on a Plane parody bit, and like this like Samuel L. Jackson lookalike comes out, and he's like, "I'm tired of these goddamn snakes on this goddamn plane." And I was sitting there, I was like, "That's really weird. Why is he saying goddamn? Why is he not saying like motherfucking?" Or it's a motherfucker. Yeah. And then I was like, that's weird. I don't remember that being in the film. And then a scene comes on later on. There's a bit where like they open up the wardrobe and everything falls out the wardrobe, and then a naked woman walks out. And I remember that because that was one of the boobs that you get to see.
Yeah.
I always remember that bit. And I was watching on Netflix, and she came running out, and she was wearing a bikini.
How did they do that?
And I sat there. I hit pause. And I was like, oh. There must be an unrated version of this. And I looked it up. There's 2 different cuts of this film. There's the unrated one that's 15s, and then there's the 18s ones.
That's stupid.
And for some reason, Netflix has the cut version. But for some reason, when I watched this thing back in 2008 or 2009,
Sky
had the unrated version. Maybe it must have been Sky Comedy then. That's definitely not going to be shown on Sky Premiere. It must have been Sky Comedy late at night, and they showed it. They showed
they used to be age locked. I remember. Yeah. They showed the boobs.
Yeah, they showed the boobs. Woo! It was fucking awful, man.
Yeah, but that was the thing. You ever see that clip of Snakes on a Plane where he's like, "I'm tired of these these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane." Oh
yeah, I think I have seen that.
Yeah. It's just like they dubbed it over for like network TV in America. It's so funny. They could have just done that. I would have been, a cool kind of reference.
You are giving way too much credit to the writer of that film. Yeah. This is a joke in the film where it's just Borat there, and he just goes, "My wife."
Very nice.
And that's like that literally just cuts, and that's
man,
the joke.
That was comedy back then, though. That was peak comedy.
It's just references.
Yeah.
No thoughts, just references.
My wife.
References and boobs. That's all this film is.
That's all you need for a hit comedy. Late 2000s comedy.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about like how I'm surprised we never talked about these films when we were going through our 2000s comedies.
We considered it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
we did talk about them
briefly.
Parodies.
Hadn't seen them in ages though.
I talked about it in the context of Tropic Thunder, but
yeah, Tropic Thunder just wins it though.
Yeah, it just sort of ends them all,
We go for a quick break.
Yeah.
And we're back from the break. The 50th break.
The 50th break ever. Well, we've done way more. We've been hitting 2 breaks past like 25 episodes.
Yeah, easily. Well, it's the 50th break at the arrow point.
The 50th first break. My God, what a milestone.
We did it, ladies and gents.
We're just hitting milestones left, right, and center today. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, hot. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
What else have you been watching this week?
I watched Monster House, a childhood classic. A classic.
A horror classic as well.
Maybe the scariest children's film. It's one of those films. It's actually kind of scary.
Yeah, Coraline. It's like that as well. Those two.
Yeah, Orla was saying that as well. Coraline. Coraline, the book. I read the book like when the film came out. I think I read the book before I watched the film. The book is terrifying. Terrifying. It'd have you in tears. It was so scary. You know, because the buttons for the eyes and stuff like that. Oh, but I didn't find the film as scary. I don't think. But Monster House around the same time. I think it was a year before. I think this is 2008. Scary film. Creepy. Because it's...
Man, I remember being fucking creepy.
Yeah, because it's shot the same way Polar Express was shot. So it's a combination of CGI, sort of animation, but there's also like sort of motion capture, where the actors actually acted out the scenes that you see in the film, but then they added a layer of animation on top of it, which is why it has this weird kind of uncanny valley look.
It is a really uncanny valley.
Yeah, whereas I think Coraline was like stop motion.
Yeah, Coraline's beautiful.
Yeah, even though they kind of look very similar, which is I think is what distinguishes Monster House from something like Polar Express, which I only remember for like looking really weird. Even back then,
I've never seen Polar Express.
I just remember seeing it on like Sky Premiere and stuff, and it's like from what I remember, it's like really long as well. And I was like, this is just weird, you know.
It's apparently not very good either.
Yeah, it's like a family film. Like the whole thing, I think Monster House both embraces the fact that it looks really weird. Like the look adds to the aesthetic and like sort of the intention of the film, but at the same time, it also looks better. Like it pulls off the look and the aesthetic way better than something like Polar Express did.
Because they're more cartoony in Monster House.
Yeah, like I wasn't even sure if this was motion capture. Yeah, I looked it up. Like I had an idea that it was, but it just looks really good. It looks really good. Like, everything's like sort of like tactile and stuff. Even though it takes place. It's kind of interesting how it takes place in such like a small kind of box area. It's like a little sandbox, like just DJ's house and the house, like the haunted house across the street, pretty much until like the end scene.
Did they go to like an arcade or something at one point?
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah. But it's like they don't even show the exterior. It's just like it's like a video game. You know?
Yeah, it's just loading screens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's really good. I really enjoyed it. You know,
I always liked Monster House.
Yeah, I think everyone does.
The backstory as well. I remember watching when you find out what happened to the house.
Yeah, Nevercracker.
Fucked up.
Yeah. Makes you think, you know, well, the miserly old people. You know, it's relatable, you know.
Well, I'll be one eventually.
We'll all be old and, you know, decrepit, yeah. And then he's liberated, you know. Real, like, kind of childhood coming-of-age film. A real Spielbergian kind of vibe.
Is it, yeah?
And it is Spielberg who produced it. Amblin Entertainment, yeah.
That's interesting.
I think Zemeckis was also a producer as well, so that's what he got the whole, because he did Polar Express. So it's very much a childhood kind of thing, like E.T., like all the Spielberg films.
The Goonies.
The Goonies, yeah. So it's like kind of retreading that old ground, but in like a cool kind of aesthetic twist. It's written, or the idea was come up with by Dan Harmon, or whatever. What's his name?
Dan Harmon?
Yeah, I think so. The guy did...
Community.
It's either him or the guy did Rick and Morty.
They're the same person.
Yeah, Dan Harmon, yeah. Yeah. Same guy.
Yeah.
Dan Harmon came up with the concept for this.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that before. It's crazy.
He completely disowned the film, though. He said it's a piece of shit, and he says Steven Spielberg is an idiot. Afterwards. He disowned it, and he said the guy who directed this, Gil Keenan, he said he's a hack. So I don't know what his problem is.
But what did he want the film to be?
Yeah, I'm not sure really, because it's funny as well. It's funny in like unexpected ways that you wouldn't expect a kid's film to be funny. Like it has this cool kind of, just like sort of smarmy kind of like it's not even dark humor. It's just like sort of, I don't know. It's more kind of edgy than you expect. Good laughs as well. Like when your man fucking. What's the fat kid? He like bounces the ball off the thing, off the rim. It hits his head. That's never not funny. Like that's never not funny.
Plants him.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen this film so many times, but I still laughed so much when I saw that. So good. Yeah, but for some reason Dan Harmon did not like it. Your man Gil Keenan is he's doing the new Ghostbusters.
Oh, cool.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. So he also did another film which is I think it's pretty shit. But he didn't do anything really for this after this. For like 10 years.
It's really weird.
Yeah, strange.
I always remember Monster House being extremely intense when I watched it as a kid. Like that's one of the films that scared me when I was a kid. But I was still like enjoyable scared.
Yeah. That's like, what you want, yeah.
Enjoyably scary.
Yeah. Because it has like just like suburban feel to it.
Yeah, it does.
It's all leafy. It's like Halloween. You know, it's never gonna end. You know, it's just childhood, like encapsulated.
but then
in a
there's
horrific
real,
way.
and then there's like the unknown is terrifying. Like
The
house
unknown
across the street.
Yeah, something as simple and like domestic as the house across the street, and it's personified. That the house comes alive. That's such like a I don't know, cozy kind of.
Yeah,
it's like a cozy kind of thing, you know.
for something that's absolutely terrifying to think about.
Yeah, it's terrifying, you know. It's just something that captures the childhood,
Innocence.
kind of the innocence of it all. It's like this is their entire universe, and they even show it in the film. There's nothing really happening outside. It's never really referred to. The parents go off on a trip at the start, and it's never talked about what exactly they're doing. It's just these kids and their life, and their imaginations, and it's just great. Like it's great fun for the whole family.
Does he have a babysitter character in it or something?
Yeah, Z, and she has a boyfriend, Bones, and he's hilarious.
Bones gets fucked up by the house as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. And they have a scene at the end where like, because 4 or 5 characters get fucked up, get eaten by the house, and then they have a scene at the end after they have a whole chase scene with the house, and Nebuchadnezzar has his redemption, and the house kind of like basically blows up.
Oh my god, yeah, there is a chase scene.
Yeah,
the house gets up and starts running after them.
Yeah. That house gets blown up and then reassembles itself, and it's like this fucking hedgehog kind of thing where it's just like boards of wood sort of amassed together and has eyes
about that, yeah,
and arms, like tree trunks for arms and stuff like that.
And it's crawling after them.
Yeah, and like roaring in their faces, and they have to bring it to like a quarry to demolish it with a crane. But after that, they have it's like the crater where the house used to be on the street. And Nebuchadnezzar's giving out all the like the trikes and like the balls and the basketballs and stuff that he's taken over the years. Like he's giving them out to the kids for Halloween, and it's all kind of coming together, like wrapping up a nice little bow. But you're thinking, oh, like what happened to everyone
that was eaten
that died? And they just have like this, it's like hilarious scene where everyone who died just crawls out of the crater, and like it's just saying, oh, everyone was all right. No one got hurt in the making of this film. Like proper like
don't worry, kids
kind of thing. Yeah, like Bones just stumbles out and he's like, man, what happened? You know, it's cool. Like it's just good. It's just cozy fun.
I'm gonna watch that again soon.
It's only an hour and a half.
Made me want to watch it now.
It's only an hour and a half.
I always liked Monster House. Good film.
Yeah.
Tell you what's not a good film as well. What? Terrifier.
What's that about?
Terrifier is about, it's Art the Clown. It's a film. I didn't know that Art the Clown was like a pre-established character beforehand.
I've never heard of him.
I will show you Art the Clown. Get a live reaction here from Art the Clown.
I have seen him before, yeah.
I think everyone's seen photos of Art the Clown or like something similar before. He's a very iconic design.
Yeah.
He's kind of like...
You seem like the thumbnail for YouTube, one of those top 10s.
Yeah.
You know?
It's super gory. It's an incredibly violent film.
Count me out.
And it's like...
What's the premise?
People get killed by art. That's the premise.
It's no story, no?
Oh man, it is the most bare bones slasher story you've ever fucking seen.
It's like a Rob Zombie kind of thing.
Genuinely, when it started off, I was like, this kind of feels like a Rob Zombie film. Even like, it's going for like a grindhouse aesthetic as well. And the gore is good. That's about it.
The gore is good, but what does that mean though? Is
like,
it scary, like disturbing?
It's pretty tense at one point. Like there's a bit like we haven't seen. Well, you've briefly seen like the violence that art like inflicts on people. Like and he's a completely silent character. Like he's completely mute. There's a bit where he gets stabbed in the foot and he just like roars, but like then nothing comes out.
Yeah.
And like he's always and like he like smiles and he's like full of glee, he's like massacring people. So like the film, so the way that the film starts is with a TV interview of this woman, and her face is fucked up. Like her face is fucked up, and she's like talking about how she survived. I can't remember, some massacre or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, Art the Clown is still out there. Like he's not dead." And then it cuts, and the interviewer's like on the phone to like her husband or whatever, and she's talking about like how fucking rotten the girl was, and like how it's horrible sitting in front of her and stuff like that. Like she was disgusting. And then the interviewer gets murdered by that girl, and she like sticks her fingers in her fucking eye sockets. Yeah. And it's fucking violent, and like it shows you afterwards, like she like lets go, and you just see this fucked up face.
Yeah.
And it does that a lot. There's a lot of bits where like a face is being demolished, and you kind of see it happening like when it's happening, but it'll show you the aftermath, and it's just like unrecognizable as a human face.
Yeah.
Just blood and fucking mush and bones.
Bad vibes.
Bad vibes. Fantastic, like great gore, like great fucking makeup.
Great effects.
Great effects. Fantastic effects. But that's all the film has going for it. And like I was confused when I was watching. I was like, who is this character? Like, is she like who is she now? And then it cuts and we see Art getting ready to go out and murder people. So I was like, oh, so this is just like a victim of like a previous attack. But then it turns out at the end that no, that's like the final girl. Like the final girl survives, and then the start of the film is what happens to her next. And I just found that incredibly unnecessary.
Yeah, wait, what? The start of the film is what? So, like,
when she's talking about the massacre,
yeah.
The massacre is what, like, you then watch the massacre in the film.
Yeah.
But I didn't, like, the film doesn't make that clear.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Even there's a little, like, nice subversion where you think that you're following the final girl all the way through the film, but then that final girl gets killed.
Alright.
And like very deliberately as well. The film is very aware of it, and like Art shoots her. Like he pulls out a gun and he shoots her. I've never seen a slasher character ever use a gun before.
Yeah, it just kind of ruins the fun.
And he guns down like who you think is going to be the final girl.
Yeah.
And that's it. I didn't think I was just like, oh, she's gonna turn out to not be dead. But then he shoots her multiple times in the head. I was like, okay,
yeah, all right,
never mind.
Jeez, yeah, that's intense. That just sounds like a lot.
It's an extremely violent movie. It's 80 minutes long, and it doesn't need to be. It's drawn out in bits. It's kind of boring in parts, because it's just trying to like make it to that feature length runtime. It's also an incredibly misogynistic film.
Yeah.
Oh man, like.
Oh yeah.
When I talk about the violence in this film, like all the most brutal acts in this film are only ever done to women. The men get off pretty lighthearted. Like one fella gets like stabbed in the face multiple times, and that's pretty violent. But he's dead pretty quickly, and then Art just keeps going. One woman, the first like woman that's killed in this film, is strung upside down with her legs open, and she's wearing underwear, and then that's all she's wearing. She's just wearing underwear, and then Tara, who we think is the final girl, is forced to sit and watch as Art slowly saws this woman in half, like vagina down. And there is something inherently sexual to it.
There's something seriously wrong with that. Like,
yeah,
that's not right.
Fucking gory, and it goes on for fucking ages.
Yeah,
like it is drawn out, and it's violent, and it's bloody, and it's unpleasant to watch. But it's like, oh yeah, you had the balls to go there. Like you went very far.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something that people might like in that, but I'm
that's
okay.
it. That's like, you know. Put on a list.
Yeah. If you whoa shit, I'm spilled hot coffee over myself. Yeah, if you like this film, you're on a list somewhere.
Yeah, you're on a list. That's fucked.
And then Tara gets fucking gunned down after being like fucking bashed and bruised and fucking sliced and stuff. Another woman is skinned alive, and then Art wears her skin and like chases another girl in the skin, and he's like dancing around. He's acting feminine, and it's like, I don't know if it's intentionally doing this, but like it's kind of like, you know the way that like in old horror films, like the villain and stuff like that will always have like gay characteristics.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's crazy, or like he's mental because
he's gay.
He's gay. Like that's it's like the M. Night Shyamalan thing.
Yeah.
Like Art is kind of like that, like in that moment. But I don't know. I think it's just. I just don't think that the director put any thought into it whatsoever. He's like, oh, this will be fucked up if I put this in the film. And so he does it. Like, it's kind of like a checklist of, like, horror cliches in that way. To the point where I thought that there was going to be a fucking subversion that, like, it's, like, so blatantly that the women are getting the shit kicked out of them. And, like, slashers are, like, an inherently pretty misogynistic film, you know? It's like, oh, you can't be the slut and you have to be the Puritan girl.
Yeah.
So I thought the film was going to be like aware of that and like hit you with a fucking right hook that didn't see coming, but that hook never comes.
Doesn't happen.
And that's just what the film is. The film is just an 80s, 90s like slasher film with extreme gore. 2016. Like it's recent enough. Like
2016. Yeah, the Terrifier is on Shudder, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like my cup of tea.
No, don't watch it. I don't watch it. Generally, I don't recommend anyone watches this film. It's pretty boring as well.
Yeah.
But Art is a cool villain. Like, he's a cool character. However, the film also fucks up there because Art doesn't really have a personality Like, he's not like iconic like Freddy or like, you know, Jason and stuff like that. Like, has a kind of a personality to them. And like Leatherface as well. Leatherface is another example of that. Art kind of has that. Like, at one stage, the film's like unsure of what it wants to do with Art, because at one point he gets a tricycle and he just cycles around, and he's just like now he's acting like a clown.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like sometimes he does things, and then other times I think it's just a contrast between like his playfulness and like how unbelievably violent the film is, that like the two don't really mesh like in the way that I think the director intended them to be. They just feel very opposites, and the characterization of Art feels like an afterthought.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like something like, oh shit, yeah, he needs to be like an icon.
Yeah, he needs to have something to him. Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't really.
Yeah.
He's just a scary clown. I'm telling you, Art would kick the fucking shit out of Pennywise.
Yeah, he doesn't sound like a pleasant guy.
Oh man, he would fuck Pennywise up. Anyway, this is another thing. Art ends up fucking like shooting himself in the head to avoid being captured by the police, right? So you're like, okay, so he's dead. But then in the coroner's office, the lights all start like flickering on and off, and then he gets up and he kills the coroner. But it's like, and you can see like the gunshot wound out the back of his head. So he's also magic.
He's also a ghost.
He's a ghost.
Yeah.
But like,
so he was.
I thought he was just a random dude walking around, but he's not. He's like he's a supernatural.
Yeah. Like, what's the message like?
There's no message, just violence and gore.
What's like the end of the film?
You realizing that the girl at the start of the film is the girl that like survives, and her face isn't melted. Her face was eaten by Art. Art was eating her face while she was alive.
Jeez, that is intense.
Yeah, but you don't really see him eating it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, yeah. It's a good film.
Yeah, Jesus.
Not a good
Fucking
movie.
hell. Who makes these? Who made this?
Some dude who's like, this is the thing. I didn't know that Art was in other movies. He's in this film called All Hallows Eve, and there's like 2 short films as well, of Art, and there's a sequel to Terrifier coming out eventually. I don't know when, but it's coming out eventually. So Art has been in other things, and I didn't know this. So maybe it makes more sense if you watch those movies first. And it's like, because I know that All Hallows Eve is like it's like an anthology film, and like it's like scary stories told in the dark. And one of the stories is Art, but Art is like turns out to be real.
Oh, right.
He's like a folktale, but then he turns out to be like, you know the way anthology films will do that.
Yeah.
So he turns out to be real. So maybe that would explain why he has supernatural abilities. But in Terrifier, if you're just coming into Terrifier because that's all you've ever heard about, like ever seen like clips of Art is from Terrifier, and you watch it, that's not clear in the film at all until like the very end of the film.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a mythological kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like a cycle. That whole kind of genre.
Yeah, slashers.
Intense stuff, you know.
I love slashers. Nothing better than a good slasher.
You do love it now. You do love it.
What do you think of Your Next?
Your Next?
Did you ever see that film?
Yeah, man, I love that film.
Yeah, it's a good film.
That's really good, yeah. The whole mumblecore kind of thing.
Yeah. Violent as shit as well.
Yeah. I remember seeing the trailer for that, and I was so pumped for it. It was in like, I can't remember, it was like some horror film, and it came on beforehand. I had Lou Reed, like Perfect Day playing, and I had the masks, like they have like cat masks and stuff.
Yeah,
like
they're really scary.
Yeah, they're all disguised as animals. So I was like, that looks amazing. It's not really like that though. It's not like what I imagined it would be.
Yeah, it subverts it.
Yeah, it's a whole subversion thing. It's like the last girl is actually like, you know, she's
fucking them up.
She's in control of the whole situation. Very good. I like that film though. I like
that film too. I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah, 2013 or something, wasn't it? Who was the guy who made that? He's in loads of stuff.
He's done other stuff as well. Yeah. I can't remember.
He's in the film as well, yeah.
Let's look it up now. Adam Wingard.
He's done loads of stuff now. He's doing mainstream stuff. Got a lot of studio gigs, I think.
I know he's done like big things. VHS. I did The Guest. He did the new Blair Witch film. The newest one.
Is that out?
Yeah, it's meant to be kind of bad, I think.
Oh, really?
Godzilla vs. King Kong. Death Note.
Yeah. That was him.
Yeah, that was
him.
He
did Godzilla. King Kong.
Yeah.
What?
Gas, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe we have to watch that then. That's a bit weird though.
He did Death Note though. That the Netflix adaptation of the anime. That's a weird movie.
Is it good?
I've only seen bits of it. It's a weird movie.
Yeah. Sounds like you kind of sold out, to be honest.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you're doing Godzilla versus King Kong, like the whole
anime adaptations.
Yeah, like the whole thing was he's supposed to be like amateur kind of thing, you know, like pure independent film.
Gotta get that cash, bro. Cash is king.
Cash is king. Everyone's selling out at some stage, you know.
Yeah, what else have you been watching, actually? I have nothing more to say about Terrifier. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
Watch Your Next instead.
I was watching Sorcerer. I was following up on William Friedkin, and I watched Sorcerer, which was his follow up to The Exorcist.
Nice.
But it was 4 years after The Exorcist. This is 1977, and
different time in Hollywood.
Totally different time. That's the thing. He took way too long to make this film because the original idea was he's going to make a small independent film about basically an adaptation of a film called The Wages of Fear, which is apparently a very famous film from like 1953, I think.
Never heard of it.
I think it's a French film. It's based on a book anyway, and the book's from 1950. And the reason he was able to... This is technically... People regard Sorcerer as an adaptation of The Wages of Fear, but it's actually an adaptation of the book because the rights laid with the author, and that's how they got to do it again. But the idea was going to do this as like kind of a small independent kind of thing, and then he's going to move on to do some other thing that he had going, which I can't remember the name of, which I don't think even materialized. But in the end, he ended up expanding on Sorcerer, and there was 1 year of... He basically took a year off from The Exorcist, doing whatever, like studio tours and like festivals and stuff like that. Yeah. And he did a year of prep for Sorcerer, and then it was 2 years shooting, 2 years production, and then eventually came out in 1977. And it came out at a time when The Exorcist, 1973, biggest horror film of all time. Up until 2017, it was the highest grossing like R-rated film ever, like by far. And like even like adjusted for inflation, it still is like by far, like not even close. Like the Joker and like it don't even come close to how popular it was back in the day for a film that wasn't, you know.
Yeah, it was a horror film. Like.
Yeah, it wasn't fit for kids. And it was like an auteur film, like as we were talking about earlier. He had control over the score, and like there's like if you go even into IMDb, like there's no credits really. It's just the writer and William Friedkin and like the actors. Like there's no like big list of producers and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that was the highest rated like R-rated film up until The Matrix Reloaded, and then Deadpool broke that. Yeah, Deadpool as well, all that stuff. Yeah. But just for inflation, it's like Jaws. Like Jaws is still way bigger than the Avengers, and Gone with the Wind and all that. Yeah, Gone with the Wind is bigger than that as well. Like we can't even think about that now. But the whole auteur thing had just kind of by 76 you have Jaws, Spielberg, the blockbuster, invented the blockbuster pretty much, sort of like reshaped the studio system, and then in 77 you have this. You have Sorcerer coming out back to back with Star Wars. You know, George Lucas, you know, the cartel, fucking... the cartel the new boys. Cartel. Yeah, Spielberg, Lucas, all the boys, the studios, coming out with another huge cash cow, which is way bigger than The Exorcist as well. And basically, The Sorcerer was this huge project that they undertook. It took 4 years to make. Like originally they had Steve McQueen attached to star in it. Yeah. A huge kind of star vehicle kind of thing. But he wanted to film it in America, like in the US. And Friedkin was like, nah, fuck that. We're going to do it. We're going to do it live. We're going to do it for real.
Do it raw.
We're going to do it raw in the jungles. And he wanted to do it in the Dominican Republic. Like in the fucking, in the jungles there. So Steve McQueen pulled out and they got Roy Schneider in as well instead. So like, it's a cool kind of contrast there, whereas Schneider was in Jaws, you know, the OG blockbuster the year before, and then he's in Sorcerer the year later, which is like talked about in the same terms as Heaven's Gate, you know, the Michael Cimino film where that basically destroyed New Hollywood. It's destroyed an entire era of like filmmaking and like the old kind of system. Like people like Scorsese and Coppola and Friedkin, like these old auteurs who had control over the artistic product, kind of faded away once all these films kind of dropped, like Sorcerer, Heaven's Gate, New York, because they just all bombed. Yeah. Like they all lost millions of dollars, like untold amounts of money.
Is that they're meant to be good as well? Those films, Heaven's Gate is meant to be a good film.
Yeah, I haven't seen Heaven's Gate, but apparently it's like a beautiful disaster, and there's the director's cut, which apparently is pretty good, and there's a few other those films that like.
Who directed Heaven's Gate?
Michael Cimino from Deer Hunter, like.
Yeah.
And then this one, the Sorcerer, is good. It's really, really good. It's like there's nothing wrong with this film at all. Like it's very
bombed.
It's just like the title is kind of misleading. It's not about magic at all. You know?
It's a bad title.
It's a terrible title because I don't know what has to do with the film at all. Because the film is like it's set up as like these 4 characters from all over the world, and they're all on the run, and they all arrive in this South American kind of like, I don't know, it's like a little mining town, and they're just on like, they're slumming it basically. They're on very low salary, they're barely getting by. They're all illegals as well, like they're always getting hassled by the law. You have like, one of them is a Palestinian, who was like sort of conspiring against the Israeli state. One of them is he was like an assassin in Africa or something like that. One of them is a French guy who's like sort of being done for fraud by the French government. And then there's another guy who's played by Roy Schneider, and he's a member of the Irish mob in America.
Some representation
For the lads, yeah.
Finally.
Because there's a scene, like the one that, because it's all sort of told at the start of the film in vignettes, like these 4 stories. It's very, very briefly. And it's the Irish one, the one in Chicago, it's like a bank robbery or something like that. And they walk in, and 2 of them are like Americans, like Irish Americans, and then 2 of them are like Irish lads, like raw heads or something.
Gas.
And they're sitting in the car, and like they have their fucking, they have their bag, like they got all the cash they need. They've carried out the robbery, and they start arguing, and they're Irish lads just like, what did you just say about the homeland or something like that? He's like, he's pure talking like this, and he has a paddy cap and all, like.
That's so funny.
And then he distracts he distracts Roy Schneider, and they crash the car. And everyone dies except for Roy Schneider, and he has to flee the country and stuff.
That was ridiculous.
So they're all in this like, they all end up through various means in this town in South America. And then it's like a mining town, and there's a fire. It's an American company. They're like drilling for oil. It's an oil town actually. And there's a fire, and the only way to put it out is with dynamite. You know, apparently that's what they do. You know, they just blow it up to stop the fire. But the only dynamite they have in the vicinity is like this stack of boxes in like this fucking way off in the mountains, and it's like it's been there for a year. So like it's like decayed. It's decayed to the point where like the dynamite is sweating nitroglycerin.
And
so
it's like really reactive.
So like they're like inspecting the boxes, and one of the guys sticks his hand in and he pulls it out, and he like moves really slowly outside the shack and just throws it on the ground. It just blows up. He's like, we can't use this, like this is impossible. Like it'd be a risk to move this 10 feet. Never mind 200 miles away, which is where they have to get to. I don't know why they just didn't import more dynamite from somewhere else, but like that's basically like these 4 men are tasked with getting these 3 boxes of dynamite 200 kilometers across the jungle, rugged jungle with no roads, without blowing up, which is a really cool kind of premise.
A great
it's like a really like high concept thriller premise. And it's like, it really has you on the edge of your seat at all times. It's really, it's really tense. Like you're there like, oh my God, it's like white knuckle job. Yeah, you're like, oh my God. There's like a scene where they're on like a rickety bridge. It's in the middle of a storm, and like there's so much slack on the bridge, and like they're having to build the bridge as it goes along, and like they fall into the river at one point, and it's just like, oh my God. The entire time, like there's like every now and then it cuts back to the cargo, and like the dynamite is stacked in sand, like to reduce the vibrations, and just kind of like it's like moving back and forth with the bridge, and you're like, oh Jesus. You know, it's really tense. It's really dark as well, because it's a new Hollywood film. It's like that whole auteur thing, where they had that sort of liberty to be darker, like Jaws and stuff. Jaws and Star Wars, for example, really light-hearted films at the end of the day.
Even Jaws, like for what it is pretty light-hearted.
Yeah, because like they win. The bad guy dies, and the good guys win at the end of the day. Like the shark dies, everything. People learn their lessons, stuff like that. Even the Star Wars as well, very obvious, like light side, dark side. You know, it's like very moralistic, kind of like
good versus evil.
Yeah. Whereas this is like, it's like dark, and it's like nihilistic.
Yeah,
it's just like there's these 4 men like thrust into this bad situation, and there's no real way out, and it just gets worse and worse. And like the stakes are there, like they're ever present throughout. Like every frame of the film is like, it's just like this could blow up at any point, and it, like that does happen to a few of the trucks.
Does anyone die in the film?
Yeah. Only Roy Schneider makes it to the end of the film.
Jesus.
Which is but like you don't know when it's gonna happen. Yeah. Like there are points where like there's no way to make out of this, but then they do.
Yeah.
And like there's different points like that. really cool score as well.
Mm.
It's like Halloween. It's like a synthy kind of score. Tangerine Dream did it. They're
I know that name.
Yeah, I know it as well, but I don't know.
I don't know how I know that name. Tangerine Dream. I've definitely heard that before.
Because there was kind of a revival of the film recently. Because I think they had there was a documentary released about Tangerine Dream. I think in 2018 or something. And this came up, or this film was like their introduction into the Hollywood, really. Because William Friedkin was on tour for The Exorcist, and he was in Germany, and he's in this church at like midnight. And there's like this synth, it's this electronic band playing, and they're playing to 4 a.m. And he was like, "Man, this is a vibe. This is a vibe. You know, like the echoes and all, like the like synths and stuff." And it was Tangerine Dream, and he was like, "Here, just score my next film. Here's the script. Send me the score while we're filming it." And that's how they did it. Like, there's no real, like, it was just really ad hoc, very much like controlled by Friedkin. Like they had no producer oversight whatsoever. Like the studio were not involved in the film, really, at any point. Pure creativity. It was just the crew and the writer and the director and stuff like that. You know, just the bare essentials, the bare bones of an artistic project.
Yeah, just to make a movie.
Just there to make a movie.
Yeah.
Just lads in the jungle
doing
their thing. And obviously it didn't go very well because they lost so much money. The only reason they actually broke even on the project, but only because they had this deal in place where they were in on Rocky somehow, and so like they were sharing the profits with some other studio with Rocky, or like the two films were tied together somehow.
Yeah, that's
so
weird.
They ended up breaking even because Rocky was like, they expected Rocky to fucking bomb and this to go way up to the heavens, but it was the reverse. So they ended up breaking even in the end. But like after this, they're like, "Man, Willie, you can't be doing this anymore. Like you can't just be running out into the jungle and making your own film. Like we have to rein you in. Like there has
to be some control.
Yeah, this is the end of days.
We need to save our profits."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all about the cash at the end of the day.
Cash is king.
It's a good film. I would recommend watching it.
I would definitely check that out.
Yeah, at some point, because it's only 2 hours. It's not like a masterpiece or anything.
It's just a good movie.
It's just a really good thriller. You know, proper dad movie, I'd say.
Yeah, it sounds like a proper dad movie.
Yeah, it really is. Like
that sounds. Yeah, like Sorcerer is for the dads, Exorcist is for the moms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. It's better than I expected anyway. You know, very tense. I've obviously very well composed. And very dark. Like there's no like light at the end of the tunnel or anything. It's kind of a spoiler.
All the way through.
Kind of a spoiler, but like it's just like because it is a 70s film. It's like tied into a whole, you know, that whole moment. Apparently the original concept, like the reason they wanted to readapt Wages of Fear, was the idea of these 4 men from across the world coming together in like this, you know, new location, and like they have to work together to accomplish a common goal, which is kind of like, more of like a universal thing. It's like sort of applicable to every time, but like it's pretty hopeless. It's grim. It's like you have to work together, but you're still gonna fail. Pretty much. There's no way out.
One of you is the only one of you will survive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking grim.
Yeah,
sounds good though. I'll definitely have to check that film out.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I've never seen any of his films. Any of them. Haven't seen one.
Yeah, True Detective.
Yeah, but I haven't seen even True Detective season 2.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, it's actually not good.
I'm gonna check out season 2 soon. Soon enough, I will watch it.
What else you been watching?
What else have I been watching? I finished the Matrix franchise series with The Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions. These films came out the same year. Yeah.
Like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, they came out. Wait, what? Like Pirates of the Caribbean?
Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3 came out, like they're like less than a year apart.
This is the same year.
Same year?
This is February, and then the second one is released in November.
That's so weird.
Yeah. They were shot like alongside the same time as well.
Yeah.
The Wachowskis just doing their thing, you know, making movies. I don't understand how the Wachowskis, because like these movies are fucking weird. These are weird movies. I wouldn't even say that. I think Matrix Reloaded is better than the OG Matrix.
Really?
I think so.
That's pretty controversial, I think.
I think it is, but I think it is. I think
that's a bold statement.
Because like the Matrix Reloaded. I'll start with the Matrix Reloaded, I guess. Yeah. After watching the Matrix, I was like, yeah, Matrix is good, but it's kind of cheesy and it's kind of aged a bit. But then Matrix Reloaded, I think it's just less of the Morpheus being like, you are the chosen one, wake up, and all that type of stuff. It's way less that, and way more exposition about how the Matrix like works.
Yeah.
And that like Agent Smith and like the Oracle and stuff like that, they're like programs in the Matrix that have gone like rogue and are kind of doing their own thing now.
Yeah.
And when they explain that, and there's other characters, there's some French dude. He's got like some fucking mad name, and he's also another like program that's gone kind of rogue and is just kind of doing their own thing within the Matrix. And they're like they're trying to escape being deleted by the Matrix. So like it's and the way they explain it, it's really complicated. I had no idea what was going on in certain parts of this film. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
But then at the hour point, the film shifts, and even in the first hour, there's like phenomenal fucking fight scenes. The fight scenes in this film are great. I think they're better than like the fight scenes in The Matrix. Maybe not as good like story level wise as when like, you know, Neo takes on Agent Smith in the train station. Like, not as like cinematic or like as grand as that, but just fucking cool. Like he fights, and I love like the escalation from like the first to the second film. Like first film, Neo struggles to be like one agent. Like one agent is a big fucking deal. Start of the second one, he there's like a meeting and they're talking about how like the machines are gonna attack Zion, which is like the human like last resort on Earth, and all the machines are gonna attack, and Neo's there or whatever, and like he hears something in the Matrix, and he walks upstairs, and there's two guards there, and he's just like, there's agents here, and he turns to them, he's like, go, leave it to me. And the three agents come in and he kicks the fucking piss out of them.
Yeah.
Like to the point where like he punches one and like the one like grabs his fist whatever and stops him, and Neo smiles and goes like, improvements, and just annihilates him straight away.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, you improved slightly to stop one of my punches.
Yeah.
And then he walks outside and Neo flies.
Wait, why?
Neo can fly in the Matrix now because he's like, that's how good he is. But in the first film, he struggled to beat one agent.
Yeah, he can fly. Yeah.
And then, and like one of the characters, Link, is just like, he's like the new pilot to the ship, and he's just like, Morpheus like, where is Neo? And Link is like, oh, he's just off doing his Superman thing, and it's just fucking Neo flying through the sky for no reason, for like no reason, just because he can.
My God, yeah. That sounds kind of going off the rails, yeah.
Kind of, yeah, but it's like really entertaining and fun. It's a very fun movie when it's not exposition heavy. It's also maybe the horniest movie I've ever seen.
Really?
Oh my God. There is just a lot of sexual tension in this film. There's a scene in this film where like the French dude who's like this like program is like talking to Morpheus and Neo and Trinity, and he's like, see that woman over there, completely conspicuous. Like the whole thing is about like the Matrix franchise is basically all about like free will, and like control and like having a choice, whatever, like going down what path will you choose, whatever. But like in Reloaded, they're talking about like levels of control and like, are you really ever in control of your body, of your emotions and stuff like that? And he's like, see that woman over there, and he's like, she's about to eat a cake, and it's gonna have a very special surprise for her, and she eats the cake, and the cake makes her come because he coded the cake to do that, and like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Why would you do that?
And then he goes off and he has sex with her then afterwards because she rushes off to the toilet because she's about to come in.
What the fuck? And he just runs after her.
Yeah, he's like, excuse me, I have to go to the toilet. Like after he's done his monologue or whatever. Monica Bellucci's also in this film.
Nice.
Because I was like, I recognize her, and Isabel was like, oh yeah, it's Monica Bellucci. I was like, oh yeah, she's in Irreversible.
She's in Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or is she? It's one of them, you know.
I think she's in Blue Velvet. Yeah.
Yeah. She's in lots of stuff.
But the fight scenes are so good. There's an amazing like car chase scene. There's ghosts in this as well. There's two albino ghosts.
Why?
Why not?
They're just in the Matrix.
Because it's explained that like the way that the Matrix worked, like originally the architect made the Matrix to be like heaven, but like the human mind couldn't like comprehend it and like wouldn't adjust to it. So then he's like, so then I looked at human history and I just made it like as bad as possible, and the nightmare, and there was like werewolves and like ghosts and shit in that world.
Yeah.
And like humans couldn't handle that either. So then he found like a middle point, which was but there's still some leftovers from like
glitches.
each side, and that's what like the French dude. He's like the data collector or something like that in terms of the Matrix's world, but he has like ghosts, and he has like these like he's werewolves as well at one stage. Monica Bellucci kills a werewolf in this film before it like turns into a werewolf.
Yeah.
But they fight ghosts, and there's like loads of agents around, and they're trying to keep this guy that has like all these keys that can lock doors to anywhere in the Matrix and like, you know, show you all the way around. It's a crazy movie. Absolute fucking whale of a time of a movie.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's mental.
Oh my god, yeah.
But it's really complicated following what's happening, because the Matrix is a complicated thing. Because like, you know, the Matrix is like, oh yeah, the machines just keep us like, you know, controlled, man. But now like this one goes into the nitty gritty of like how it does it, and it's really complicated and hard to follow.
Yeah, that's what I've mainly heard about the sequels, that they're just extremely complicated.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And it's just like loads of exposition, and it's like I can't and like it's philosophical as well about like free will and choices, whatever. It's like I actually don't know what's going on here.
Yeah. I don't know, yeah. But yeah.
It's a horny fuck movie. Like Neo and Trinity pound in this movie.
Oh, did it?
Oh god. And like it's like intercut with it's intercut with this rave in Zion where like people are just like fucking rubbing their bodies up against each other and like dancing, and there's loads of nipples everywhere.
What the fuck?
Great.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a whale of a time. I recommend.
How's it contrast against the third?
The third movie is fucking weird. The third movie barely takes place in the Matrix.
This is the one. This is the most hated film
because it doesn't take place in the Matrix, and that's why people don't like it.
Like it's all real.
It's like in the real world, and like in people in mechs fighting like the machines coming after them and stuff like that. But I think it's also a pretty good movie. I don't think the Matrix. It's not a bad movie in the Matrix. I think I give each one of these films 4 stars.
Really?
Yeah, on Letterboxd.
Damn, that's controversial.
Yeah, I enjoyed them all. Honestly, they're fun movies. Like, just... I think the problem is that the Matrix... Like, people perceive the Matrix as being, like, this, like, mint thing. Like, this is one of the greatest films of all time. Watching it now, you're like, that's pretty cheesy. Like, it's a bit kind of...
Yeah.
It's, like, it's not subtle. It's, like, kind of... Like, it's a vibe you have to hop on.
Yeah,
but with Reloaded and Revolutions, you know, it's stupid. Like, it has stupid things in it, and it's fun. And it's like there's way more CGI, like way more, and especially in the third film. Like, there's so much green screen. I don't even think it looks that bad, honestly.
Yeah,
it looks kind of shit. Sometimes the mechs look like fucking toys.
Yeah, it sounds like it just kind of embraces the cheese, you know, which is kind of what you need when you got a lot of cheese.
And it got good message as well in the film.
What's the message?
The message of like control and stuff. Like, you remember I was talking about in the first film, like the real like we live in a society type of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like in this film, in Reloaded and Revolutions, it's like more subtle. Like Agent Smith is the big bad. He's the biggest villain in the entire thing, and he's a white guy in a suit going around. Most of like the resistance are like people of color, and like the Oracle, who's like basically God in terms of, you know, the Matrix's world, is a black woman. And it has this kind of moment where you're like, the answer is love. But it's not like it's not like Interstellar. Like the way that it does is it's like Neo and Trinity. Like Neo loves Trinity, so he's willing to like fight because he loves her. Like communal bonds will unite you and like encourage you to fight the powers that be, basically. And you know, it's like people of color that like do the heavy work. Meanwhile, like more like Neo is like he's Jesus in the movie. Like
he is Jesus.
Oh man, it's not even like vaguely subtle. There's a bit where like he comes out and like people like there's like monks and like priests and stuff around, and they're all like uniting over this one figure, which is Neo. But he's more like he's like being told what to do by like people of color. He's just like a puppet basically for the people of color around him to like get everyone united.
Yeah.
It's subtle in doing that. It's cool.
Yeah, jeez, the Matrix,
man. Oh my god.
How long are these?
Each one is 2 hours.
That's not bad. I was expecting them to be like 3 hours long.
Oh yeah, I was expecting it to be like 2.5 hours. It's not. Reloaded is the longest one.
How long is that?
2 hours and 10 minutes. And then
that's
Revolutions
all right, like,
is 2 hours. And like because I didn't know this about the film. Like where Reloaded ends, Revolutions like starts. Like they could be.
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean.
They could literally cut it into one movie, and it could be one 4-hour long film.
Maybe it is.
That
sounds like a re-release.
Well, especially the way that they shot it and like the production behind it is almost like, yeah, that's what happened. But like Revolutions is kind of not even a bad movie. I don't know. It's just not in the Matrix, and it's complicated as well with explaining what's going on. And some things aren't very clear. Like there's a bit where Neo meets like the head of the machines, but I just thought it was gonna be I just thought it was a machine that he bumped into, but it turns out no, it's the head, but it's not very made clear.
Yeah, I feel like I have to watch them, but
I recommend.
Yeah, Matrix. I have to watch the Matrix anyway. You know, just have to refresh all that stuff because we're coming up to the re-release, or not the re-release, the sequel.
Yeah, the newest one.
Very soon. I
can't wait. I cannot wait for that now.
That's November.
Yeah,
I think.
Still ages away.
That's nothing.
Yeah, we're in
That's
August.
3 months away.
Yeah, what am I talking about?
Yeah. Well, that'll be our first live Paropod from the cinema.
Yeah. I can't wait for that film, man.
We'll have our microphones in hand.
Listen here, guys. Listen. They're in slow-mo.
Yeah. I can't believe you done that.
I just hope that there has like another like increase in escalation, because in like Revolutions, like the big fight, the final fight of like Neo versus Agent Smith, they punch and like meet fists so hard that it's like piss and rain right when they're fighting. They punch so hard that the force like expands out to where like it's not raining. Like they punched so hard that the water was pushed back into the sky for a brief second, and then it slashes back down.
Yeah,
that happens 3 times.
I hear. That just sounds like anime. Like
it's so good. It is anime.
That's live action anime.
And they're flying around and they're punching each other. It is just anime.
Yeah,
it's like Superman versus fucking Zod or some shit like that.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
It's like Man of Steel.
that is a shot in that, isn't it? Yeah,
it probably is.
It literally is
it's
a shot.
taken from Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah, probably.
And there's the slow mo as well. There's like less slow mo in. I don't know, that's probably not. Probably equal amounts of slow-mo. I swear to God, the first 5 minutes of Reloaded, like 1 minute of it is like just in slow-mo.
Man, I hate slow-mo.
And it's just Trinity falling down and like an agent falling around. They're just shooting at each other in slow-mo. For a minute.
So excessive.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I hate slow-mo as well.
I hate slow-mo, yeah.
Did you ever see the Agent Smith fight from Reloaded?
The one where he's like, there's loads of them.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's terrible CGI.
Oh my God,
that's
it's so
terrible.
bad.
Terrible.
But like it goes on for ages. I loved it. I thought it was so good. It looked awful, but it was still fucking like, it's just so crazy to watch.
Yeah.
There's loads of Agent Smiths, and he's like, we need more, and like they keep running out of all these doors.
Yeah. Agent Smith.
And he picks up one Agent Smith and just uses him as a fucking bowling. There's literally a bit where like he throws Agent Smith at another like a bunch of Agent Smiths, and there's a bowling ball sound, like fucking pins dropping.
Yeah,
like the film's aware of its ridiculousness. It's a blast.
I haven't seen the film, but I've seen that, and it looks pretty, insane. God knows what we'll see with updated graphics, updated, directors.
I hope they don't improve. I hope it's still the exact fucking same.
We'll have something. It'll be a new take on it. What have they done since Jupiter Rising?
Speed Racer.
Apparently that was good.
They did Sense 8, but that got cancelled. That's meant to be really good.
My dad loved that.
Yeah, apparently it's really, really good. I haven't seen it though. They've done something else as well. Cloud Atlas.
Yeah. I remember I watched bits of that. That's mad long though.
It's 3 hours. It's 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is going through time and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I think I might watch all the Wachowski films now, because there's not that many of them. There's only like 7.
Yeah.
I've already watched 3 of them, so
yeah, halfway there.
And all of them are like 2 hours. Bound is meant to be very good.
Bound.
Yeah, it came out before The Matrix.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I have to have a look. The
Wachowskis
in anticipation of the new one.
Can't wait.
It's
It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah.
We go for another break before.
Go for a break. Whatever listener questions we got. And if you want to ask us a question or give us any feedback, you can get those at Paro_pod on the Instagram or on Twitter. Or you can email us at theparopod@gmail.com. Our first question's coming in from Alan, and he's asking, what is your favourite long film?
Over 2.5 hours.
Over 2.5 hours, we'll say.
I'm
going to say Deer Hunter. Straight out the blocks, Deer Hunter. It's long. It's extremely long, but it works because it's an epic. That's what epic films are about. You know.
You need to have good.
You need to soak in.
We always talk about the importance of length in films and stuff like that. But sometimes it's a positive, like Jesse James, like Tokyo Story, 2 films we talked about many times in the podcast at this stage. But they're both great. Lord of the Rings films.
True. Epics.
Not Hateful Eight. I fucking hate Hateful Eight. King Kong.
King Kong.
Yeah. King Kong briefly
I
before.
Suppose, yeah.
What else? Enter the Void. How long is that? It's over 2.5 hours as well. Enter the Void is very good.
The Godfather. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
3 hours. The second one's like 3.5 hours.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
It's extremely long. Because it's basically 2 movies.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
2 stories. 2 timelines anyway. But it kind of works.
It kind of works.
It's not as good as the first one,
Yeah, the first one's just a classic, innit?
And then you have Apocalypse Now, very long film, but it's also like it was too long originally, and then they put it down, and then they re-released it, and it was too long again.
There's like 4 different versions.
There's no need to have the one on the plantation. Cut that whole thing.
Yeah, get that French bullshit out.
Yeah, who gives our rats? There's a time and place for long films.
Deer Hunter.
The long form.
Deer Hunter's great.
Deer Hunter is the long film par excellence.
Yeah, basically 3 films in one as well.
Yeah, that's what you want. Yeah, it's like fucking triptych or something.
Yeah. There needs to be structure to a 3-hour long film. I can't just meander around for 3 hours.
Yeah, otherwise it's fucked. Otherwise you just like.
Although that is Tokyo Story. Tokyo Story does meander around for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, the transcendental vibe. Yeah.
That's a different way of looking at a long film that I never thought of before until we watched a long film like that.
Yeah, sort of baking it into like the environment.
Yeah, the foundations of the film are in its length.
Man, all that stuff. Ozu. What do you have?
Yeah, that was crazy, man. That was crazy theory to those films.
Mishima is mad long as well, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it's only 2 hours.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. That's a film with multiple parts, though.
Yeah, it feels long.
Yeah, what's some like bad 3-hour long films? Like fucking, like the fact that fucking Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End is 3 hours long is a crime.
Well, yeah, most films are like that though. These days, 2.5 hours. They don't need to be.
Man, I'm just looking at my like I watched The Virtues a while ago. It's a TV show. That's the TV show itself is 3 hours in length in total. That is shorter than like The Virtues is shorter than King Kong, is shorter than Hateful Eight, is shorter than Green Mile, and it's a fucking TV show.
Wait, how long is King Kong?
King Kong is 187 minutes, and The Virtues is also put down as 187 minutes.
187 minutes for King Kong. That's just too far.
I said it's like 10 minutes of fucking credits though.
Yeah. What was the last one you said?
Green Mile.
Man, there's no reason for Green Mile to be 3 hours long.
Green Mile is 189 minutes.
Green Mile, like the Stephen King adaptation.
Yeah, the one with Tom Hanks and the.
How? Yeah, it's just like a bog standard drama. Like.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not even a good one.
I've seen that film a few times and I never noticed how long it was.
I never knew it was that long. Yeah.
I don't think
I've ever watched it all the way through. Like.
I think, but like, do you see what you're saying? Like, I don't think I've seen it all the way through either. Actually, I don't think I've seen that film and sat down and watched the entire thing.
Like, it's just not worth. I don't think I've ever thought it worth watching. Like,
it's like Green Mile's grand.
It's like Shawshank.
How long is Shawshank? I feel like Shawshank's like 2.5 hours or something. I feel like it has to be. Like I scroll down a little bit and like fucking like all the fucking Harry Potter films.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Criminal stuff. You should get paid to watch them.
You should. Yeah, I shouldn't pay to watch these films. You should just pay me to watch these.
Yeah.
Schindler's List is also incredibly long.
Yeah, fuck that. And
then our second question, also coming in from Alan, is what are our favorite short films?
Favorite short films? That's a difficult one because we don't really talk about short films.
Yeah, as in like not like the 80-minute film, as in like very short films.
Yeah, interpret it as this is short films, as in like 30 minutes ish, around then. Like short films.
Like patriotism.
Really Yeah. Patriotism. That is a really good film though.
That is a good one.
That's very good. It's kind of creepy though.
It is mad
when you
creepy.
think about the context.
Yeah, what happened afterwards and all.
Yeah.
And just look at my fucking thing here. Well, I mean, the Seahorse and all those films that we talked about. a while back.
Yeah, Pan Leve.
Yeah, very, very, very good.
Yeah, they're interesting. Yeah, vibey.
Vibey as fuck.
Under the sea.
My favorite one was definitely the
Octopus.
No, not the octopus. The seahorse, and that's literally 15 minutes long.
Yeah. Simple, digestible.
Interesting.
Vibey.
Vibes are key.
You ever seen Too Many Cooks?
No.
It's one. I think Casper Kelly was a director. It's like a short. I think it's like 12 minutes long. It's like a Cartoon Network or Adult Swim kind of thing, where it's like a parody of 80s sitcom. It starts out as like a straight parody, or like reproduction of that. But then things start to get weird and starts glitching out, and one of the characters becomes like self-aware, and he's like killing all the other characters.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's really, it's a good gimmick. Like, it's like there's nothing too deep about it, but like it's a funny gimmick. And there's others as well. Alan Resnick did a few in the mid 2000s, which I remember. He put them up on YouTube and stuff. Unedited footage of a bear. Ever watched that?
No.
It starts out as unedited footage of a bear just chilling basically, and then it cuts to an ad, and it looks like a YouTube ad. It's like it's for some drug, like sleeping pills or something like that, and some woman going about her life and talking about like how great the drug is. But then like things start to, it's like Too Many Cooks. Things start to go wrong, starts glitching pretty much, and she becomes like, I don't know, she splits off into different characters and gets worse and worse for her, and like she starts like breaking down, like biologically, and it turns into a horror pretty much. It's pretty cool. It's just a gimmick kind of thing as well. But
how long is it?
It's like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
it's not long at all. But it's good. They're all on YouTube. And then there's another one. There's There Are People in This House, which is like footage of it's like CCTV footage of a gaff, and there's family in the gaff, and weird things start to happen after a while. It's all very like it lures you in, and then pulls the rug from underneath you while these weird things kind of happening. Nothing, no crazy themes, but like it's like a horror pretty much.
Yeah,
it's kind of a cool bite-sized horror. Those are ones that kind of stuck. Those are really the last short films I watched. I remember I was really interested in them back when they came out. They're quite a few years old now though.
Yeah, when you were saying that, it reminded me of what is the full title? The Horribly Slow Murder with the Extremely Inefficient Weapon. Did you ever hear? That's like it's a YouTube video from years ago. It's 11 years old at this stage, but it's just it's a guy who like he's trying to kill a guy with the spoon, but he's like the Grim Reaper, and he's just following him around, whacking him with the spoon constantly until he dies.
Is it creepy? Like,
it kind of is, but it's also shit. But it kind of is.
Yeah.
Like production value is not. It's just creepy.
Yeah. Are there any YouTube videos that you would think, like, not even that like they're technically productions or films, but like would be like creepy or something like that? Because you could short film, you can think of anything as a short film, really.
Like that
TikToks even.
Yeah, TikToks.
You could.
Like that Lights Out. Remember that one?
Yeah, that was that the film was then based on.
Yeah, that's a creepy fucking short.
Yeah.
Very spooky.
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, there's definitely some.
The short form. I remember I don't know if I told you, I remember I saw this YouTube video years ago where it's talking about, that drug, Datura?
No.
It's like this one, it's like one of those, like ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those like mountain, the natives in like South America like, eat this, and like all these like, hippies go over there and they like look for mystical experiences. And Datura is like a drug where it's like it's not pleasant at all. It makes you feel extreme pain. It's a real drug as well. It just gives you a really bad trip, but people do it on purpose. Like shamans and stuff like that would do it on purpose to like generate a mystical experience through the suffering. And there's this YouTube video I saw where there's a guy, and it's just him and a camera, and he's like strung out and stuff like that, and he's like shirtless, and he's just in a room, completely bare room, and he's talking at the camera, and he's talking like all shaky and stuff. It's like he's like been thrown up or something. And he's talking about how he hasn't come down in 3 months.
Christ.
And he's always like, but the way he plays it off like really well, and it's like it's horrifying. Even though it's just a guy talking at a camera and sort of alluding to something that he's done, but he doesn't really explicitly say anything about it. He's just like there's no context to it. He doesn't explain anything that happened beforehand, and there's only one video in the account. It's like, oh, this guy died afterwards, but it's clearly Well, hopefully it's a dramatic thing. Like
Yeah.
it's something he staged, he scripted and stuff like that. But it's only 3 minutes long. I found it really terrifying when I saw it. I was
that
like,
sounds
I was
fucking spooky.
so weird, like, you know. It's one of those things. It was like, it came up in the recommended of like those creepy videos you'd see on YouTube or like the top 10s and stuff. So I assume it was a dramatic kind of thing,
Yeah,
like
it
a
must
short
have been.
film, you
Yeah.
know, kind of a student thing. But it gave me the willies.
Yeah, something short and sweet like that.
Yeah.
I watched one a while ago. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it at all. But like the kind of demon thing, and it was kind of spooky, and it was about like this kid that was like following it around the house as this demon. Then it was revealed that the demon had murdered its mom.
Yeah.
Spooky though, creepy, really creepy. Can't remember the name of it at all. But the shorts like that, like something short and sweet like that that hits a raw emotion on fucking nail on the head type of shit, and it just sticks with you.
Yeah, that's the one that really sticks with
And
you.
because it's so short as well, there's never any like resolution properly.
Yeah, that's the scariest part. Yeah, you know, it lingers.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened?
What's going on?
What happened at the end?
Cockamillish.
Cockamillish. That's probably the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Easily.
Well,
Body horror too.
The thing is, that could happen to anyone.
Yeah, you can.
Like,
It's not an asthma attack, folks.
If you're blind at the same time.
Yeah. Bryce Dallas Howard and fucking The Village.
Yeah.
What's that fucking The Big Shave? That's Scorsese one. Did you ever see that? This guy's shaving and he just like keeps like digging into his skin further and further.
No.
Yeah, it's bloody.
Fuck that.
It's about the Vietnam War.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. That's the worst. That's relatable, you know?
Yeah, because
we've all been there. Yeah. We've all done that.
Yeah, everyone's done that, you know. Clip yourself when you're shaving.
Yeah.
Sore.
Yeah.
Painful.
Horrifying
stuff.
That's horror. That's real horror.
It's body horror.
Yeah.
Which is, because it's something, it's like that giallo way of making kills more like realistic or whatever. You know, like something that you've experienced but like magnified.
Yeah. Jeez, that's a callback.
Yeah.
That's a real that's what, episode like 6 or 7?
Yeah, fucking ages ago. With Deep Red.
Yeah.
Yeah, hitting your bank. Yeah, because that does it really well. Because they got the corner of like a table or whatever. Someone gets their fucking head drilled into it. But like we've all like, you know, banged off a corner. This corner's really sharp. I'm touching right now.
Yeah, damn, these are some well-made tables.
Better not fucking bang my face off that. Yeah, what else is there? What were those David Lynch ones that you were watching?
Oh, ABC. That's a good one. That's the only one I really remember, to be honest. Because I saw it before. I rented that DVD. It's it's like an early film he made in, I think, 1967. And it's his sister. And she's in a bed. And it's just like sort of a deconstruction of language. And it's just like gibberish. Like the audio track is just gibberish. And then it's just a girl going A, B, C, A, B, C. And then the visuals are just like, it's like almost painted on. But it's her also in the bed. And it's just like the visuals of the letters. Like, you know, like a grapheme. Like it sort of makes you think about like what like a letter is. Like it's just an image. And I don't know. It made me think about like language and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
And it's also kind of creepy, you know. It's only 3 minutes long. It's on YouTube, so
check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, most of the films that we're mentioning now, you can find them on YouTube.
That's the thing. That's the future.
Yeah,
you know,
YouTube.
That's the future. YouTube, the short form. You know, the shard.
Should we have our playlist on our YouTube of a couple of short films?
That's true.
Check out.
That's true.
Trying to think of one of them that's on. Oh, fucking Ari Aster's one. Something Wrong with the Johnsons. That film's fucked up.
Ari Aster, man.
That's a
Sick
weird
mind.
fucking.
That's a sick mind.
It's a fucking weird movie. Jesus, that's a fucking weird movie. Oh, DreamWork. All those ones. Peter. You know how to pronounce the second name?
Oh, Peter Sherklashki.
Yeah, Sherklashki. Yeah.
Sherklashki, yeah.
Those are
Outer
great.
Space.
Outer Space, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty trippy.
They're great. They're really, really good.
Yeah, they're mad abstract though.
They are mad abstract. It's just, but it's something.
It's creepy though.
It's mad creepy, but there's
Mad,
something
like,
hypnotic in it.
Yeah. But what makes it? It's like, so what is this? Like,
Yeah.
whose perspective is this from? You know.
What is happening?
Yeah, what is
the
this?
film itself is deconstructing.
Yeah.
But it's from the get-go as well. It's immediate.
Yeah, and it's just like a clip from a different film. It's just like you're just manipulating the film. It's like film as a substrate, film as a medium in like a physical sense, which is pretty cool way to think about it, you know. Which you can't like experimenting it in a way you can't do in the feature length stuff. You couldn't watch a 3 hour version of that. Tell you that.
It's like Inland Empire.
What, the outer space?
No, but Inland Empire is like 3 hours of like just like abstract nonsense, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lynch.
I don't know if I will eventually watch Inland Empire, but I need to be ready to watch that. Jesus.
Yeah, you need to sit down. You need to commit to the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go plug all in.
Yeah.
We leave it at that.
We'll leave it there for our 50th episode.
You know what? Pat on the back, Mark. We haven't done one of these in a while. Pat on the back. Did it. Episode 50.
There we go. Well done, lads.
What will the future entail?
Well, interns, new studio coming in next few weeks.
Yeah.
We're sort of scaling up.
Might have a few guests.
Yeah, guests are gonna happen.
Guests
will happen. Yeah.
But I'll have a few people on soon.
Yeah, pretty. I don't know, 52nd, maybe.
We'll see.
Probably.
Have the schedule bits in, you know.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight calendar, to be fair.
Yeah, time's slipping away, you know.
Yeah.
50 episodes in. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you all next week. Again, recommended films this time is the Before trilogy.
Indeed, Richard Linklater.
I haven't started any of them yet.
Neither have I, but I also don't want to, you know. I want to be fresh in the mind, you know.
Have them all there.
Watch them at work. Be grand.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect work movies.
Yeah.
That on the background.
Nice relaxing, yeah.
See you again, anyway. Thank you for listening if you're still listening.
Good night.
Good night.
And God bless.
See you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.